nothing but a shit show. And if you don't give a fuck what people say, you're better off, really. If I gave a fuck what people thought about me, Jesus Christ. Onto it, let's fucking wrestle. Fuck you and your goddamn 4 tits. I will poke your fucking tits out. I will bash you in the head, and I will, I'll bring you down the street, bitch. Let's fight. Maybe that's why I got told no a lot. Maybe that's why I didn't get the big money or anything like that, because I basically told everyone to fuck off. Listen, asshole. Dude, there's so much every time I watch that video. Anyway, I got to get to that video. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I know it's been a minute, a hot freaking minute, but I am so glad to be back. First of all, it was so good to see Andrew, Mr. Red, Mr. Man, Mr. Uranus, Mr. fucking Yankee, Mr. Come to Florida. Don't even call. Hey, let's go to lunch and let's meet for a protein bar kind of guy. Not even a chance. So anyway, I was really excited to see. Look at him just sit there with that face. Don't make me slap you. Hold on 1 second. And so I'm kidding, because I think we were both in town and we just couldn't meet, and it was probably my fault. Anyway, I'm giving him shit. So it's been a hot minute, and when I first saw him and heard his voice, I was like a little girl. Oh my God, it's Red. I'm so happy to see you. Well, welcome back, everybody, to Paving the Way, and we are back.
Yes, we are back, and not better than ever, because that's Eric Bischoff's thing. But I will say this: why don't you tell your fans the truth? You were yelling at me already today because you didn't get the email that I sent you 5 hours ago.
You didn't send me the email, and you're like, I've already sent it to you twice, woman. Ma'am. You always say ma'am.
Ma'am. Do not yell at me.
I'm putting that on your headstone. Here lies Big Red, ma'am.
Ma'am. Because I do say ma'am a lot. No, we are back. It's been, like you said, it's been a minute. We've got a lot to get through today. So I want to inform the audience of what the game plan is before we get into it. You guys probably all see the title says Becoming Timeless. So what we're going to do tonight, obviously Timeless Toni Storm is who we're going to talk about somewhat, but there's a lot of other women that we're going to talk about tonight too, because women's wrestling is becoming timeless. This is the becoming of women's wrestling 50 years too late, 10 years into the evolution, whatever you want to call it.
I think I like that, Red. I think that you and I are going to name it the Timeless Era.
The Timeless Era. And it might as well be, because damn if that woman isn't like insane. I mean, I just like her because she's British. Well, I guess she's Australian, but whatever. And she doesn't care. So, she kind of fits our motif of the way we do things around here.
Yeah.
So
I would love to work with her. I really would love to work with her, just to bring out another inner side of me to see what I have. Even if it's like a management, and kicking and throwing, just the heat and promos or whatever. I mean, she would be a hoot.
Look at this fucking guy. Oh, that's
this fucking guy.
Not bad. That's Digi.
Damn it, Digi.
She's Australian. Damn it, Digi. This fucking guy. I thought you were on Team Red. So, for those of you not playing along at home, and I know the Australians in the group can correct me if I'm not right.
Yeah, Mike.
The saying "the sun never set on the British Empire" was because the sun never set on the British Empire, which, by the way, included both New Zealand, and Australia, their prison colony. So, Toni Storm is a product of the prison colony, and if she's New Zealand, that's slightly worse. They have Tasmanian devils.
No, that's Rhea Ripley, right?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. They're all awesome, and we're going to talk about them.
Yes.
None of them are American. Let's put it that way.
What the fuck? What does that say about? Oh my God! I think we just opened up something. None of them are American that are on top.
None of them are American. No.
What does that say?
Iyo
Now, we
Sky.
could go back and forth. Now, is that an American problem or is that the marketing problem? Like, you're only as good as the team.
Yeah. Yeah, you've said that a lot about the two-time national or world championship in monster trucks, that you're only as good as the team.
Yes.
So, although I find that hard to believe. I don't think you probably took a whole lot of shit from anybody when you were driving the monster trucks.
No, I didn't, but still, they fucked with you. They fucked with your gears, they fucked with your tires, they fucked with your train. Dude, don't get me all hot again. Fuck.
One day we're gonna actually talk about monster trucks on this show, because
One
Madusa
day.
has never said I hate monster trucks,
I've never
but she has said I hate wrestling.
I hate wrestling. I fucking love monster trucks. Yeah,
I
yeah.
love monster trucks. So we were late because Madusa didn't see an email, and
The
I
truth.
didn't text her at
That's the
7:30.
gospel. I did not see it. I sat here with my peeps from Twitch, going over a few things that we're rendering, just fucking changing and doing our thing. And my team's awesome. And I'm going through your email, and I went through the whole page of yesterday and I didn't see it. All I saw was the format.
That she printed, by the way, because she
And
doesn't do
I
digital.
print it all the time. Bitch. Don't even. Okay, hold on, mother mofo.
But we have some pictures. Was what we were actually late because Madusa sent me a bunch of photos.
I did.
And
So we're starting there. Okay, we're gonna start.
we can start with the cruise.
We're
And
going to, but first of all, so Red, you're doing good. Life is good. You've been traveling real quick. You went down to Tampa. You saw the New York Yankees. Yippee fucking skippy. It was good.
yeah, so we went to the Yankees and the Pittsburgh Pirates, and we went to the Yankees and the Red Sox. I got to see Max Fried pitch for the Yankees. He's going to be a good substitution for Garrett Cole. Had a great outing, 5 innings. Joe Torre, the Yankees manager that's won 4, pulled him from the game. Is just a fun thing they do down there. We got to see Aaron Judge, of course. And so it was a lot of fun. We went to Charlie's Steakhouse there in Tampa. We went to the Columbia restaurant. First oldest
Ooh,
one
did
in
you smoke a
1905.
big fatty?
No, but we saw the flamenco show and it was good. And
The flamenco show. What a bunch
yeah,
of women just stood there with on one leg.
well, they were dancing. Yeah, they were dancing with the little bells and the stuff, and it was great. Um,
Oh,
and then we went to Ivatori's, the restaurant that the
hi,
Steinbrenners used to
baby.
go to.
Yeah.
So a lot of fun. Went to the beach. Did not see Madusa because Madusa was on a boat,
I
and
was on a boat. Boats and hoes. Boats and
boats and
hoes.
hoes. I
I
don't know
was the
about.
boat and Alan was the hole.
I would say what a transition, because look at this photograph right here. So
Hey,
I love
okay.
to
That
finger
was our
paint.
okay, that's what we wore walking on the boat. So Alan loved he came up with these sayings a while ago. So what we do is we buy a bunch of t-shirts and it says his says I love to finger paint and mine says I'm paint. So I mean, yeah, we got a different setting each time we go on the boat. And then we changed those shirts and then not the next day but the other day we had another set which I didn't send it to you, but it says his says I come in peace and mine says I'm peace. I mean, he's hilarious. He's good for humor. I mean,
Because
he's
we're
yeah, he
juveniles and we love it. That's the other thing.
yes, you men are juveniles. And so here's one guy I ran into. Does anybody know who that is? Anybody Wasp fans? That's him. Boy, he's changed. Of course, we all have. We all get older. Dude, who's into Wasp?
Yeah. Yeah, your chat's gonna have to help you out because I am not.
You're not a rocker. Okay. So
Well,
anyway,
what WASP meant in my world is white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. I don't know what it means in yours.
oh my God. All right, Craven, who is it? It's the guy that used to be in Wasp. Anyway, so there was a lot of other bands. I think I threw you some pictures. I think Vandenberg was one of my favorites, and Queensryche. So Queensryche, fucking totally, yeah, Wasp, the '80s band. Um, um, totally stole it, man. Queensrÿche was so good. Now they were on the boat the year before, and I wasn't that impressed for some reason. I don't know, but this year, really good, really, really good. Yes, the guitarist Craven. Yes, absolutely. There's a picture of him before, and what he looks like now is like he was jacked. He was like a Zach like Zach, like the guitarist from BLS, Back
Okay.
Label Society. Yeah. He was
Who else
jacked
we
like
got?
that back in the day.
I can't see the thumbnail, so there you
That's
go.
Vandenberg.
There's
I'm
Vandenberg.
telling you guys, those guys were fucking amazing. If you love, yeah, they're from I think they're from where are they from? Sweden? No.
That would be right.
Sweden, I think. Yeah.
Well, based on the last name or the band name,
Chris
Berg.
Holmes, Dalton, you're right. Yes, Chris Holmes.
Yeah, Berg would be Northern European.
Is that like German or Sweden?
Swedish.
Or...
Berg would be Swedish, yeah. What else we got? Let's see.
Who's that, guys? All the girls' panties. Oh, they get wet when this guy sings. Oh. It's Winger. You don't know who Winger is, Red?
Not speaking my language, not at all. You guys are gonna have to bail me out, seriously, because this ain't my thing.
Yeah, are you serious?
That's them again. Did you send me two?
Winger,
yeah, you sent me two. Okay, there they are. Yeah. No, I love music, but I'm not familiar with this era of music. Now look at this picture, though.
Who's this, guys? Don't tell them. Who's this? Anybody can? Who's this?
I know who that is.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that would be Mr.
Rye. Oh, you're here. What's up, buddy? LA fucking Guns. No, that's not LA fucking Guns.
I've seen LA Guns.
LA Guns was on the boat.
LA Guns are good friends of Frankie Kazarian. They were at StarCast 2 in Las Vegas for the after party I was at.
I was there. I didn't see them.
Yeah, they were there. Them and Shivani and the Porn Stars were the best part of the night. That was so good.
I didn't see that.
Caught up with the Porn Stars. And then, there we go.
Did we say who the last band was?
It was Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper. Yes. No one even said it. So anyway, that's Alice Cooper. Who's this next band?
Hold on. Look at Sarge. We don't give him enough love. Look at the Sarge here. Deuce is doing her thing, of course, but Sarge has got the hat, the vest just the way he likes it. Throwing up the rock sign. He's ready. Sarge is ready.
He's got his rock and roll vest on, throwing up the horns.
There it is.
Yeah, he's got, and let me tell you, he does pack more clothes than I do. He's got, you should see the shoes he brings. He's got rock and roll shoes. He's got 10 million t-shirts. He's got all these. Oh, and the shirts. Holy shit. He's got these really cool shirts. Like he's got the Betty Page shirts, and he's got the old, like cigarette pack shirt. He gets so many comments on these shirts. I'm going to have to throw some up so you guys can see them one time, but these shirts are badass. And then the other band, does anybody know who this is? It's about as close as I'm going to get to Robert Plant. Anybody? That is Bonham. Yeah.
John Bonham?
What?
John Bonham?
That is Bonham. Yeah, his kid. That's his kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sitting right in the middle. He plays drums like no other. Holy mother shit.
Really good?
Oh my God. It would make you like, what? His daddy. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. Oh my God.
Music isn't the only thing Madusa's been doing. Look at what we got here.
What?
Uh-oh. It's Blaze.
Oh no, guys. So this is the new version of the video game that came out too, which I was on the boat and everyone's like fucking text. I'm like, look at Deuce, look at. I'm like, what? And so, yeah. So this is the new version, and look at the tats, dude. They're on point. Those tats are exactly what's on my arm. Right?
Yeah.
And they got the color of the hair and whatever. Okay. I don't know. My face looks like it was smashed in by a brick, but I mean, they did great.
I'll put it back up, but I want to ask, why did you not go with blonde when you're a Lunger Blaze? Because Lunger
Because
was
that's
blonde.
the new scan. That's what I
Okay.
look like today. So they had what's really cool is they have 2 versions of me in this video game.
Yeah, so you get the Lunger version from '94, and you get this version.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm
So
not a
that's
video gamer,
Revolution.
so
That's the Revolution or the Evolution.
the
Evolution, excuse
evolution.
me.
I like it. I like it,
Yeah,
and I
that's
like
the
the concept.
Evolution, and they rated that one, like, at 85 or 87, and then the other one is, like, 92, 91 or 92. So, that makes sense.
Well, that's because nobody fucked with the Lunger except Bull Nakano and Bertha Faye.
I just wanna
Uh,
see Alundra and Alundra. I wanna see Alundra and Blaze wrestle.
but this is great. So, because this kind
Yeah.
of ties into what we're talking about, where
Oh,
we're talking about how wrestling has evolved, and now you don't have wrestling shows without women, and they're honoring Madusa you in your present form, which I think is fantastic
I
because
do too.
women
I
have
do
changed
too.
over the years. If you and I'm not making fun of her, nobody say that, but if you look at Sunny from the way she looked in 1995 and 96, and I know she's in prison, but you look at her in her latter days, it's a completely different person. 100% completely different person.
You mean from her jail cell picture to back
Yeah,
then,
that's
or
what I mean. From the jail. I mean, what I'm saying though is she's aged. She doesn't look like the I worry about any little calorie I put in my body 1995 Sunny anymore. And it's not body shaming, it's saying that she's 30 years older. That's all I'm saying. And
Yeah.
this is at least honoring you. Now, Sunny may be a bad example. We could talk about Sable. There was a recent photo of Sable and Brock Lesnar, who I know
Oh,
is a little
yeah.
nuclear, but she doesn't look a hell of a lot like Sable these days if you grew up on the Attitude Era. She
No.
does not look like Sable. Y'all can Google it. Again, this is not me body shame because I got Madusa, believe it or not, I got heat. I'm the good guy on this show. And
Wait,
I
wait,
got
wait, what? You're the good guy?
I got heat on the Charlotte Flair commentary that I did a month ago. So I got heat with some of your people.
Oh,
Because
so now you're gonna try to be nice? Why don't
no,
you don't
absolutely not.
change. You please continue to be honest so I can
Well, I
correct you.
criticized Charlotte's plastic surgery, and some people thought that I was making fun of the way she looked. My honest opinion was I
Your
felt like
honest
somebody,
opinion was that she looked like a credit card.
yeah, well, I said like Cher. I said she looked
Oh,
more like Charlotte or Cher than she does Charlotte. But the honest opinion is, did somebody pressure her to doing that? Has she been watching the internet wrestling community too long and that sort of stuff? On the other hand, I'm not backing up. She has had a ton of plastic surgery.
but
I
it looks
hope
good on her.
that she does look fine. She does look good. I do hope though all of the stuff you and I talk about, all of the poisons you put into your body and all that stuff, I
Oh, there's a
hope
lot of
that
stuff
doesn't come
coming
back
out
the
now.
other direction. No, ma'am. So
There's a lot of stuff coming out now about all the fillers. Like women have been doing fillers now for the last 15 years, right? 20 years and the chemicals have changed. And after 10, 15, oh, there's some major shit happening. I mean, major blood problems, cognitive problems, inflammation, just I mean, we're talking about really bad stuff. And I am so glad I never, did that route. Now, continued that route. I did Botox and a couple times and there's no fucking way. I'm just like I can't do it. One, it's expensive as hell. I don't even know how they can afford it. How can you afford that shit? And then they put fillers in their face and their cheeks and their fucking lips and their fucking dudes probably put it in their penis. Fuck, I don't know. It's just crazy. I don't get it. But to each their own. I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying I just couldn't. My choice is I couldn't continue to do it, not just financially. I just because of the health reasons. I just you're just wait. That's a disaster waiting to happen, health wise. There's nothing that's gonna come out of that later. Just like implants.
no.
Implants are the worst fucking thing women can do. I except for the fact that hey, I get it. When women have breast cancer, like my very best friend had breast cancer, double mastectomy, boom. And so she she was concaved and it was bad, and she wanted to feel like a woman. And I mean, for those reasons, feeling like that, that's okay. That's okay, but still there's poison in her body and it's defeating the purpose what she was trying to get away from. And I had that conversation with you. I said, you for you to make that choice, and you're trying to fight cancer, but you're putting the cancer back in you. It's just it's what's the thinking there? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's
But it's
tough.
a hard decision. I don't know, it's never happened to me, and I hope I don't have to cross that path, but I know for a fact, like, if I had it, I'd get a double mastectomy, I'd get rid of my tits and just be flat. I don't give a fuck. If I wanted tits, I'd wear a bra with fucking shit in them and to fill out my dress or something. But I'm that just comfortable with myself, and I don't give a fuck. I don't.
If you
I
all saw
don't.
the entrance video, she was 100% sincere, which is why we put it in there. I
I
give a
don't give
fuck
a
what
fuck. I
people
just
thought.
don't. I don't.
And
I don't.
Dalton, I love you because I get this a lot. Damn, Red.
What?
I get this a lot. That comment. Damn. I get it
Damn
a lot.
oh, so it's damn red and
Yeah,
damn it Digi.
damn it, did you? Yeah, I get it a lot. And that's what I was saying. These are things we're going to talk about at some point. Madusa and I have made that clear that we will talk about plastic surgery and those sort of things, because it does alter your body. Yes, may
Oh,
make you look 10 times hotter, but there are long-term consequences that
long
people didn't
term.
necessarily know that now you know. I have
Oof.
I have some exposure to some millionaires that to be fair, I work for. They've had the Botox injections and stuff, and one of them doesn't have a natural facial expression. I swear to God, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to make this up, but because of the wrinkle lines,
Yeah.
there's no smile, there's no frown, there's no the facial the
Oh,
micro
right. Yes.
the
Right.
micro expression is gone from this person.
It's like
Um,
looking at a dead person. It's like,
it's very unnerving because you don't know if you're on the good side, the bad side, or the ugly side, and it is
again,
because
to each their own. And I'm not going to dislike somebody personally. I mean, a lot of my friends get it. Okay. I
yeah.
mean, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to, be their friend or anything. It's just, it's a personal choice and I choose
Yeah.
not to. So there's that. So walking right into that with those choices, so let's talk about scheduling really quick. So I've got a couple appearances coming up. I think it's on my website. Go to Madusa.com. I have 2 of them coming up. I was just scheduled for August 2nd for the Gathering in North Carolina, North Kakalaki, or is it North Kakalaki? Yeah, Charlotte.
Yeah,
Charlotte.
it is Charlotte, North Carolina, 3 hours away from me, and
I
maybe I will
guess,
make the
yeah.
drive
Oh,
to TV.
please. Please. Oh,
Maybe, maybe I'll see you since you stood me
please.
up in Tampa, but that's okay.
Please. Oh, red.
See, this is our game. We just like to blame each other. But no, the Gathering is a fantastic event put on by
I'm just going to be there
Tracy
one day, though. I'm in and I'm out.
Myers, I believe it is. It used to be NWA Legends Reunion, and then they made it the Gathering. As
Oh,
I'm sure,
really?
yes, as I'm sure you're aware, Madusa, the Gathering was the name of the 1985 Starrcade,
Yes.
Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair World Championship following the
Correct.
Horseman beatdown. So that was definitely a homage to them. But the more important one for now, April the 25th, 4 to 10 p.m., Indianapolis, Indiana, at the Squared Circle
Squared
event.
Circle Squared Circle
Expo.
Pro or something, right?
Yeah,
No,
it's Square Circle Expo, I think it is.
Expo.
Yeah.
Expo, yeah.
So April 25th, guys, Madusa's going to be there 6 hours. This is one of the largest conventions in the country following WrestleMania. Make sure if you're in the area, go see her. I will be seeing her in North Carolina, I believe. So,
We're going out
and
to dinner then. Yay!
maybe we'll get a Dangerous Alliance reunion because I know a guy whose shoot name is Marty, but
Oh, okay.
So, fun story. I'll send you the picture.
Yeah.
I have, before he died, Bobby died. I have a picture from that event, the Gathering, in
Yeah.
2019, with all 5 members of the Rock and Roll Express: Randy Rose, Dennis Condrey, Bobby Eaton, Stan Lane, and of course Jim Cornette. So I have a picture with all 5 of them before Bobby passed. So
Oh, wow.
it's a great picture. It's one of my favorites that I've ever gotten. So I'm plugging. We're supposed to be plugging Indiana, but I'm also plugging this gathering, guys. It is an awesome event they put on. They do a really good job. Met Lex Luger there. Speaking of which, Deuce, he's going to the Hall of Fame, and I bet you he walks across the stage because Diamond Dallas Page is working with him. So Luger is finally taking his place in the Hall of Fame. But been a long time coming. And a lot of people, I think, thought it would be, posthumously, thought that he would do it after he passed away. But Vince isn't in charge of the company anymore. So Luger in the Hall of Fame, Natural Disasters in the Hall of Fame, Triple H in the Hall of Fame. So they're getting them lined up for Vegas. And there you go.
And
maybe you'll be there. Maybe you'll
Undertaker's
be in
wife
Vegas.
is in there.
What's that now?
And Undertaker's wife is in there.
Oh, yes. Michelle McCool. Yet another woman with athletic prowess and strength, ability, and beauty. So,
yes. Yes. I love her tenacity.
Yeah, she didn't really give up because she could have very easily just said, fuck this.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. It kind of went, Undertaker saw her. She was there for a bit. He said, nope, you're staying home.
Yep.
But she fought it. She loved the business, though.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if that's how it went. I don't know. I was just, it's like he saw her, they got together, they got married, and she was no more on TV. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah. Well, and he doesn't, she don't need to work, and he don't need to either, if you want to be honest about it. Not anymore.
He's just on the road now promoting whatever. Like he does his comedy stuff now. Doesn't he do like shows?
Yeah, and he's a coach for WWEID, which we're going to talk a bit about.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, I think LFG needs to rotate coaches and, I think it would bring more people because exciting because you'd have new coaches, new, just more eyes, I think.
Yep. And then this comment, because it does matter, from Dalton. Did anyone see WWE Vault has WCW channel on YouTube? Yes, sir, I did. They're uploading everything to YouTube, Madusa, from the WCW days 1988 forward, which would include your time there, Dangerous Alliance, and beyond. So a lot of fun there.
But the thing is that I was Madusa.
Mm-hmm.
How is that going to work when he doesn't own Madusa?
Because he owns the video.
I wonder how many times they say my name.
Maybe you should get him on the phone and tell him, hey, I'm going to need a check, bitch.
Hey, everyone, count how many times they say my name, so I'll ask him for a check.
I said that, not Madusa, and I think that Triple H could have his own wing of the Hall of Fame, if I'm being completely honest, for all his contributions to the business, and he's not done yet. But one thing he did do, and we're going to get into that in a few minutes, is he...
Okay, stop right there. Hold on. Somebody made a comment and said, Michelle McCool replaced Mickie James on LFG. And that was the only person that was replaced. Again, women getting changed, but not the men.
So the person who made that comment is our buddy Darren Walker. He is watching us from England, if I'm not mistaken.
Hello.
After 1 o'clock in the morning.
Damn.
And so Darren is the man who asked me to ask you about Meagan Bane, who we're going to get to.
We're going to get to that. First, we got to push one more thing. Merch. What are we pushing?
Merch. Well, we're pushing Madusa. Murdersa.com. Go to Madusa.com. Get all your merch. Look at this hat.
I thought you were going to say Moderna. No, thank you.
Yeah, Moderna too. You can put. Oh, don't start with me on that. I'll stop. I used to take a lot of shots.
It's already old. I've never taken a flu shot, so fuck
me
that.
either.
Why the hell would I take another one?
Anyway, Madusa.com, the home for the merch. She does have a shirt over at One True Sport. Says, nice to meet you. Don't fuck with me. The words she said to Paul Heyman of all people before
Don't fuck with
Of
me,
all
Paul.
people, it was Paul Heyman. She said it too. And of course,
And right then and there, it was love at first sight.
you can get copies of her book, The Woman Who Would Be King. There is going to be a sequel. There is an audio
Yes.
version.
There is an audio version out now. Yes.
Read in Madusa's voice, and she doesn't yell at you. She reads to you. So,
Oh, but I had to do it several times because I got hot reading some of that shit because I knew exactly what, I was getting to a certain part and I'd get fucking hot.
yeah,
And they're
there you
like,
go.
okay, we need to do those lines over again. I'm like, oh, okay.
How'd you like to be the producer guys in the studio telling Madusa she has to reread?
Oh, he was in the back cracking up. I could see him through the window. I was like, whatever.
We're gonna need to roll that back. You were too
Yeah, we're
mad.
gonna be here an extra day.
And I didn't see 5 fucks in the middle of that sentence that you wrote in the script.
But there was a lot of fucks in the book. And let me tell you, there was a lot more fucks in the book, but I asked them to please just take out them fucks. There was too many fucks given.
I asked them to take out them fucks, maybe a shirt coming to Madusa.com soon. What
take out the fucks?
Well, what's interesting about not giving a fuck and shirts is Monday Night Raw. We've been off of the air together so long. I say off the air like we do this all the time. That John Cena turned heel on Cody Rhodes at Elimination Chamber, and we haven't talked about it since. And Raw opens with Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, and Respect.
Are we starting with him?
Yeah, I was going to.
All right, I guess.
We have a very large fish to fry called women's wrestling. We need to get Big Time John out of the way.
Big Time John.
Yes. That's what they call him.
It didn't cut the hole in the t-shirt big enough to slide his head through.
I love you for that. So John Cena, Michael Cole calls him Big Time John, not me.
Michael Cole called him Big Time John?
Yes, and
he
also calls him the greatest of all time. I shit you not.
Michael Cole does.
He calls John
Is he
Cena
on John's payroll?
He must be. In all fairness to Michael Cole, he has called probably more John Cena than anybody else. So, so this is how they open. The face, the expression. So people thought he was going to have some different music. Maybe he's going to have different attire. He comes out to the traditional music, so you get the Pavlovian response. And he comes out dressed like John Cena. And look at the stance and the posture here, Madusa. This is what WWE does better than everybody. He's on the W, centered in the ring, allowing the fans in Brussels to boo the ever-living shit out of him.
Yes.
How risky was it, do you think, for WWE to expect the Brussels crowd to just go along with it and boo John Cena?
I don't think it was risky. I don't. I mean, they knew what they were getting beforehand because they were already playing the card, right? So they just had to continue it. And I feel that to control a room, you have to control it as soon as you walk out. Your demeanor, your stature, everything about it. How you look from one side, when you look to another, your hand gestures, it's everything. And even your clothing. Maybe it's your music. They knew exactly what they were doing. And for him just to stand there in the middle of the ring, he was commanding. He was commanding that. And it worked. It worked.
So in 2002, The Rock wrestled Hogan at Mania 18. And Hogan come out the next night in Montreal. And for 17 minutes, the audience cheered Hulk Hogan. It wasn't 17 minutes. It was about 10. John Cena stood like this, waiting some more. And Madusa, he made him wait. Yeah. He made the fans in Brussels wait for him to open his mouth, and he continued to let them boo and scream and holler.
Control the room. Yep.
I agree with you 100%. He had full control of the room. My question, and maybe I asked it incorrectly, is if John Cena is as loved and revered as he is worldwide, and it's not really debatable, he is. Did it surprise you the European crowd played along with him and didn't just swim upstream and cheer him? Could
No.
John Cena have been cheered Monday night?
If he wasn't doing his job correctly prior, yeah. But apparently he was. So I think there was a lot of confidence within himself, and you could feel that. You could see that. It's an aura. You carry an aura. You ever have that you're somewhere and when someone walks into a room, they just stop the room? There's very few people that can walk into a room and command the room. It's amazing. It's fucking electrifying. And those are the people that I want to rub shoulders with. You know what I mean? Just those type of people in the world. I mean, just getting to know them, talking to them at a function, a party, whatever. It's just those to me are just interesting people. Interesting. And I remember the first time I met John. Again, quiet. And it was actually in 2015 when I was inducted in the Hall of Fame. I have a really great picture of him and I. And he was a little tinier, but shredded. And I just said, "Hello, sir. Do you mind if I get my picture with you?" He says, "Not at all. Come stand right over here." And he was just very short, very kind. And he smiled, his little John smile. And that was it. He carried Little's bag and he left. So the thing though is I don't know sometimes. I feel that there's been awkward moments with John. And I don't know if it's uncomfortable and that's why he doesn't say much. Because I think there's a bit of awkwardness or has been. I don't know now. But in the past, like sometimes I felt like he said some weird, dumb things. And I'm referring to this if anyone knows what I'm talking about. There was him and Nikki when he was dating Bella. They were sitting up at a table and doing an interview. And somebody yelled at John and said, what is your favorite food? What do you like to eat, like for lunch or dinner? What's your favorite food? And he just kind of he didn't hesitate or wait. It was just kind of awkward, and he just said, "Well, if Nikki would stand up, you could see my lunch." And I thought that was weird. Like somebody of some stature would speak that way of his woman in front of the public, to me just kind of really rubbed me wrong. Like my husband would never say that to anybody in public. It just to me it's just uncouth. He does I don't know. I don't know if it was to get the crowd, try to get that side of, some lascivious bullshit speaking. I don't know. But it was ugh, I don't know. I just thought it was awkward. So anyway, there's that tangent.
Well, what I thought was awkward, I'll be honest about it, is when you
Okay.
watch the scene from Total Bellas and Nikki and John are hosting dinner at their house,
Yeah.
and Brian and Bree are across, and Johnny Ace is there, Johnny Laurinaitis,
Mhm.
and he's talking about all the rules of the house and how they'll dress and all of this other stuff. Honestly, that did him no favors whatsoever. In my opinion, with like public perception, people thought he
Yeah.
was a weirdo. They thought he
Yeah,
was a weirdo because he's talking
I
about you're going to wear a suit and we're going to retire for cigars and blah blah blah. And I'm like, and
didn't it
apparently,
just come across like kind of on the spectrum?
Very much so. And apparently he was, I was going to say OCD about the
Yeah.
way the house was cleaned and kept and all of that sort of stuff, that you sat in certain places that you
Yeah.
didn't, that some places were only for show, like they were not to be even usable places in his house. And these are things that I've read and heard and seen other people talk about. And my impression of that clip on Total Bellas is it made him look like a control freak weirdo in some ways, just
Yeah.
the way he came across. Now, you and I both know reality TV, the way it works, Madusa, they're going to clip the most,
Scripted. But I think that was him in some sort, but I think once it started to transcend, like, it was getting out there, like, people it, like, fed into the crowd, like, they picked up on something, and once when I say crowd, once the fans pick up on something, you can't pick that shit back up and take it away. That shit starts spiraling, and I
yep.
think that's what happened, and so maybe John felt like that's what he needed to be, then continue, and it was just, I don't know, it was strange, it
And for
was.
me, you can't unring that bell because everybody just saw it on TV. And then you've got
Yeah.
social media and they're clipping it and they're sharing it and they're sending it to all their friends, just like we do. I send you a bunch of clips throughout the week, and that's how we, decide sometimes what are we going to talk about. So,
Wow.
um, and it is what it is.
So anyway,
So
so back to that, I thought he did that well, he commanded the room, the presence, and I still think there's some awkwardness there. I don't know what it is.
well, in this right here,
Did you really
we
think his whole interview was great?
I do. I do, and here's why. I believe he finally got to say what he's wanted to say for 10 to 15 years. Cena has been chewed up and spit out by the internet wrestling community. Fans boo him simply to boo him. The real deal is professional
Because people
wrestling.
feel like he's unapproachable, that's why.
Well, in professional wrestling, people think that Cena was the guy shoved down our throats as Super Cena, as they call him. But he's also the guy, for those of you who remember, who took an ass whooping from Brock Lesnar and took 16 suplexes at a major pay-per-view to lose the championship.
Mhm.
So Cena
That's
has
one
done
thing,
that.
he is a team player, he's a player, and he knows his psychology and he knows the business, and that's what's the beauty of that is about John. You know, you can see all of that he will do that for the business. He will pass it on for the business. You know, he has taken it for the team quite a few times, like you said, and maybe, as you said, he got to say a few things in that, promo, like something that was binded up for years, kind of like the CM Punk shit. I don't know.
Well, and everybody knows wrestling is choreographed violence and it's scripted and that other stuff. But when he says, "I'm not a heel, I'm not a baby face, I'm a human being," yes, it's trite and it's like, oh God, whatever. But he's not wrong. People have shit on him for years. But contributions with John Cena, without him, TKO doesn't buy WWE. WWE never gets to the position globally with the wealth and the money and the value that they have without someone like John Cena that carried their water for over a decade. You don't have the merchandise sales, you don't have the tickets, you don't have the good publicity that offsets all the bad shit people like Vince did, where this man has granted 700 wishes to dying kids. And as I
The
told
only thing
somebody,
he needed to say was when he started was grab the mic and say, fuck the kids.
yeah, well,
It would have been done.
he did to this little boy right here.
It was
So
planted. That was
yeah,
planted.
he picked but he picks the kid out of the crowd, and then he says, and for you to cheer me and you boo me and all of this other stuff. He picks the little kid. Now the little kid didn't cry and didn't scream and whatever, but
And he
because
dressed up like him.
I love the joke. There you go. Fuck them
Fuck
kids.
them
So there it
kids.
is. But
But
of
that
course,
look right there, to put that back up, that is like the movie. He could play a great fucking psycho killer. He looks like a psycho killer there.
yeah, he's got, and somebody in the chat help me because I don't remember the name of it. He plays a a movie where he's a superhero. Um,
Peacemaker?
Peacemaker, that's it. Thank you. I've not seen the movie, and I love Deadpool, so I've been told I would like Peacemaker because it's
Yeah.
basically very similar. But he gets to be like his asshole self. Like he gets to let it loose in Peacemaker. But my point about the kids, you know, because obviously this is all scripted and whatever, but he granted 700 or right at Make-A-Wishes, people on their worst days, families on their worst days. They know these children are dying. He
Yeah.
didn't have to do that. Not one damn thing, and he did it.
He
And he did
did
it
it.
700 times. So John Cena will always have my respect, not just as a wrestling fan, but as a human being,
Well,
because
we're
I wouldn't do
separating
that.
wrestling and what he does for community and charities totally separate. Absolutely. There's no one that can, you know, equal to him on that and what he did.
No. And I think
Mm-mm.
it takes a special kind of person, Madusa. And when, you know, he and Nikki had
Does
that
he have any
little,
kids?
that's the thing. Nikki wanted children, he did not. Maybe it's because he saw 600 kids on their worst days, and he's like, no, I don't want that ever to be us. But who knows? Because I wasn't inside their bedroom or their house. You know what I mean? So, but it could have
Right.
affected him in his decision to not want to have children.
Exactly. And I can back him up on that, meaning that I always wanted to have kids. Did you finish my book yet?
I have not. No.
Okay, fucker. Anyway, chapter 23. No, I don't know what it is. But I wanted to have kids my whole life, you know, and I never got to have my own child. So, the same thing is at the end of the day after so many, you know, um IVFs and miscarriages and tubal pregnancies and oh my god, and then an adoption that didn't go. At the end of the day, I was like maybe 60,000 kids every weekend. Maybe those are my kids, and that's what I'm on the earth for, you know, for me to do. And that I had to come to peace with that. I had to accept that which is very hard. Oh my God, Red. For years. Right now, not so much. But up until a couple years ago, I mean, I would see a damn diaper commercial and I'd be like, you know, and it hits you
Mhm.
weird. You know, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he wasn't able to have children. You know, maybe I fought differently than he did, or maybe it was just a decision on his part. I don't know. But
Right.
God bless him for him doing what he did with the kids and whatnot.
Well,
So,
that's what I like about him is he, you know, that's my thing about Cena. Was he the best wrestler ever? No. Is he the best promo ever? No, but he's pretty good. And like I said, I think that promo 15 minutes too late. And by the way, Mortis has fired me, so he's going to take over the show since I have not finished your book. Mortis,
I
I've got 6 books on my nightstand.
don't give a
Medusa
fuck. Stick mine by the toilet, asshole, because I know you take big shits. So just,
Medusa is one of them, and
oh,
I'm very bad about finishing books. I could have taken hers on an airplane.
you could have, would
So
have, should have. You didn't.
I took a trashy ass beach novel instead, okay?
Oh, and he looked at me across the way while I had my Speedos on, and he
I'll
was
send you a
so
couple
tall and
I'll send you
dark
a
and
couple pages of it.
wonderful.
Yeah,
La,
you'll
la,
like it.
la. Oh, brother. I don't even listen to them fucking girly books. They're the damn whatever. What are those books that that lady would always write that, oh, they would fawn over?
Oh, no, God, what was her name?
Danielle Steele or whatever
Danielle
the hell.
Steele. Danielle
Oh
Steele.
my god. I've never read one. No, I maybe read one and I'm like, "No. Shit. This is horrible."
Oh, I love them. I love them. It's
Remember
just like
that blonde-haired guy on the other books? Remember Fabio? What was his name?
Fabio.
Fabio, fucking yeah, those goddamn books too. Yeah.
Oh, we are off the rails, but
Yeah, how'd
that's
we get on that shit, Fabio? I'm
one.
gonna start calling you Fabio.
Stop it, please. So
Fabio, you're
ano-
Fabio,
another
bitch.
thing that happened since we've
You
and
know
this
we
is
haven't
not,
even started our first fucking paragraph on this yet.
well, this is not in your notes, so bless you for that. One thing that we did not discuss prior to the show
Uh-huh.
was March 9th, AEW put on a pretty good pay-per-view called
Oh.
Revolution, but it is going to tie into what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, we've been saying
And
that for the last hour.
yeah, I know. I,
Everything
I'm
ties into what we're gonna
I'm
talk
getting there.
about.
It's like a diesel motor, honey. We running, okay? Stop. There was this really, really, really good match between Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher.
Ooh.
Little homage to Cactus Jack there.
Yeah.
Brain Buster on the steel chair.
Yeah.
Um, the
No,
fuck you
no.
to the Reunited Empire. The Spanish Fly from the top of the cage.
Oh boy.
To what I really, really enjoyed, the ending, the teacher, the pupil. We're entering Star Wars. If you've ever seen the second prequel, where Obi-Wan is on the
Obi-Wan.
volcanic planet fighting Anakin, I guess it's actually the third prequel, and Anakin becomes Darth Vader, and Obi-Wan cuts him down, and he says, I hate you. Kyle Fletcher, I
That's
fucking hate
pretty
you
bro. That's pretty
before
heavy
the hidden blade.
statement. I
Yeah,
hate you.
I fucking hate you is what Kyle Fletcher said
Yes.
before he got hit with the hidden blade. Really, really good steel cage match. But I thought made it a match, Madusa, and want your opinion on, is that they had a personal issue, and the steel cage allowed for the
Those are the
violence.
best ones though. I don't know what it is. It's almost like when you sent me the fucking match about or that quick play of the two girls, Statlander and whoever else it was. I can't remember who it was. No, I said, fuck yeah, I want to watch that and talk about it. It's like, do they have heat or does it just look that good because it was sped up or, whatever? But, and then I said, those are the best matches. When two have an actual grudge about something and they can be professional in the ring and take it out in there. I mean, the emotion shows, the whole body, action show. It's just you put more into it. Sometimes it goes a little far and it makes it more real, even though they know it's just scripted. Yeah. Anyway, answer to that, yes. So what kind of heat did they have? I don't even know.
So the story is that Osprey is the mentor to Fletcher, the student. That's where he is Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And of course, Fletcher is Anakin Skywalker, who later becomes Darth Vader, with the I hate you sort of thing, that just guttural, emotional way. But they're actually very best friends in real life. Like Fletcher lived on Osprey's couch and all that sort of stuff. That's legit.
Right.
But this story, they made it about a personal issue, a rivalry, a jealousy. I want to be you. You've held me back,
But a
etc.
real rivalry even gets better, but this one turned out good when there wasn't one.
There wasn't, yeah, there was. But I would dare say there is a competitive nature between the two, that
Yes.
they both want to be the best. Will
Yes.
Ospreay believes he's the best wrestler in the world. Nobody has to believe that but him.
Only he has to believe that.
Correct. Only he has to believe he's the best wrestler in the world. But he puts on these matches and does these incredible things. A Spanish fly from the top of a steel cage is absolutely unnecessary. It's absolutely ridiculous. It was absolutely fucking awesome. Okay, but there's no need to do it, is my point.
No.
About like Moxley taking a board to the back with nails last night on cable television.
Yeah,
There's
like
no
why? Why do
need
we have to
to.
oh man. I just
But
like really that shit was in there. When they went to pull it out, his whole back came with it. Like,
mhm.
ugh.
Yeah, I've got a picture of it. They fucked it up. But the other thing happened on Revolution. Your man, as close as you're going to ever get to Robert Plant, Kenny
Yes.
Omega,
Yes.
took on Konosuke Takeshita in a very, very good Japanese style,
Yes.
hard hitting, lots of strikes, lots of knees, lots of counters, and it was counter to counter to counter wrestling, Madusa.
Mhm.
Japanese wrestling, Kenny Omega, they kind of go
Yeah, but
hand in hand.
whenever you watch Omega, you can't go wrong. You know what you're getting. But again, it does depend on if he is wrestling a Japanese guy or American guy with some of the Japanese background. Because if you've watched Omega though, he not that he changes his style, he changes his momentum a bit to who he's wrestling. Have you noticed that?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah. And to me, I think I don't think it's challenging. I think it's very um not respectful. You know what I mean? But I think he does it in a way to challenge the person. And I like that type of wrestler if I'm wrestling somebody. I like the person to give me something, and then for me to have to think in there. I just I hate step by step by step by step scripted matches because the only way you get better is be able to think on your own and to counter a move without it being scripted and knowing that that's what your next move is. This is what my next move is. I want to know what the fuck I'm doing. I want to know how to, if someone, were to give me an armbar, I want to be able to twist it, flip them back over, put them in a submission and have them think about how the hell they're going to get it out. That to me is fucking awesome. And, of course, with some of the scripted shit in there, but just to fuck with people in there. And I don't mean in a bad way, but I think leading people around like that is just you're gonna get some good stuff out of them.
Well, and this match was so different than what you saw with Fletcher and Osprey, in that it was still a very sound, technically sound wrestling match. And like I said, Kenny Omega wins with a counter hold. It's counter into counter into counter. And they went 28 minutes. The other thing is for Omega, because I absolutely agree with you. I think he dials back his style when he wrestles Americans.
Yeah.
But when he was wrestling Konosuke, he speaks
Let it
Japanese.
rip, man.
He speaks Japanese fluently. There is not a communication issue between these two in the ring because Kenny Omega speaks Japanese fluently.
Oh, that's
And
awesome. I didn't know he did. Yeah.
yeah, he speaks Japanese fluently, and he can communicate with Konosuke in a way other professional wrestlers cannot communicate with him because he doesn't speak English as well as he speaks Japanese. Kenny Omega can speak both languages, and it
Yeah.
makes all the difference when you're in the ring dancing together.
It does. It does. Not like Bull Nakano and I when I couldn't speak Japanese before. We just had to fucking duel it out. I followed her body. I fucking followed her body, and it was one of the best dances, the best fucking marriage ever, wrestling her in the ring. That was, it helped hone my craft, definitely.
Well, one of my favorite things, and I'll never forget it, I was a little kid when I saw it, was when she would grab you by the hair.
Mhm.
And I know you grabbed her by the wrists, but she would grab you by the hair, and she would spin you round and round by the hair and then just launch you.
Her only move in that was having her hands on my wrist and taking 2 steps. Boom, boom. All of that was the selling. It
Yep.
was me taking the bump, me throwing myself, and me just selling like a motherfucker. And
Yeah.
to me, a person that does that is a person that is gonna get the other person over. I was getting her over on that move. And I'm not trying to blow smoke up my ass. I'm just saying a good worker is a selling mofo.
Yeah, and it's something that set you two apart from everybody else because nobody
Yeah.
ever seen that before. It
Fuck.
looks like she's got 2 handfuls of your hair and
Yes.
she's throwing you all over the
Till
place.
this day, I haven't seen one person emulate or even just do it like that.
No, no, because
No.
the other thing is you and Bull were strong enough to pull it off as well.
Yeah.
You could hold her wrists and she could,
Yes.
you were strong enough to pull it off.
Anyway, it's not about me. Okay, next. Let's
It is
talk about
about
the
you.
women.
This is your show. Let's talk about the women. Timeless Toni Storm
Oh.
versus Mariah May, a Hollywood ending match, which another no content or no rules street fight, same as a cage match, same as a Mox match, but this one is culminating 18 months of story we've been talking about. You and I've
At
been talking
least.
about Toni Storm since we started doing this together. So
Yes. Yes.
so we get the match a hot start. You get the shoe. They're bloody, both of them. You get the pile driver through the table. You get the end right there.
Yeah.
Covered up, finished. Now, Madusa has helped me watch wrestling in a different way. She didn't realize she's done it. Toni laid on top of Mariah and they had a word together. And you could kind of tell because when they were framing this shot right here, they got the end Toni is talking to her while she's on top of her. And they've done so well with this character that, they could say, well, Toni was just whatever she was saying to Mariah, because of how Toni Storm is. Inside the match, Madusa, and I want your opinion on this. This is an 18-month storyline. It's the teacher, it's the mentor, it's the turn, it's the blood, it's the black and white, it's timeless Toni, chin up, tits out, watch the shoe. They go to a segment where they both tape their fists, and then they dunk their hands in glass, and the glass is on the taped fist. Violence for violence sake versus violence with the foundation to be able to use it. Your thoughts, man?
I think it could be, and I think that people were like, could be shocked, like 2 women are actually doing this or could do this. Are they really going to go through with this? That's something you would see in the movies. I think it's exciting if 2 women were going to wrap their hands, get them wet, sticky, fill them up with glass, and then get in a fight. Can you imagine? That's never been done. Would you want to see it? I would. I want to see what the outcome is. How do you do that without getting very seriously injured without contact? Is that what you mean?
Well, yeah.
Like,
So my question is, sometimes the Edge, the Cope Mox incident,
with
their street fight, and that ends up like this. Okay,
yes, yeah,
did not warrant that violence, in my opinion. Doesn't warrant that level of violence. You had
yeah,
a personal issue between Mariah and Toni,
yeah.
and they've beaten each other up, they've bled, so they had to do something different. The escalation is that they're going to tape their fists, they're going to put glass on them, and they're going to beat the crap out of each other. But tell me when you've seen that from men in professional wrestling, let alone women.
You don't.
It's different. You've never seen it.
I think it stops the room. It
Yeah.
like you're quiet. Like, are they really going to do this? Like, what the fuck? Are we to that level? If we're to that level, then what's next, Red?
Yeah. And that's my point. 35 years I've been watching wrestling. Obviously, you've been in the business longer than I've been watching wrestling. But the point is, I cannot recall a time when you saw 2 women, Japan, United States, wherever, Mexico, do something like that. It's
Now, I
novel.
think women had fire. They've had fire in the match.
I was thinking the glass, just the glass part, the
Yeah,
broken glass.
but I mean, I would put the glass parallel to women having fire on the table and putting a woman through the table, the same level, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and like for me, I guess what made it work is they were new. It was new,
I
and
thought you said they were nude.
no, it was new. The other thing is the willingness for them to go all the way. So you're
Yeah.
telling a story that violence is necessary. This story is violence is necessary
So
component
they
to the
brought
story.
themselves to a level of this is all they have left is the violence.
And look at the
Yeah.
blood.
Yeah.
So Mariah's wearing white, Toni in her garb, covered in each other's blood. This isn't something you see regularly with women wrestling, but this is where we are in 2025.
So I wonder, do you take blood tests beforehand nowadays before you wrestle somebody? Because there's a lot of stuff out there now that I wouldn't want to be rolling around the mat with someone unless I knew that they were tested.
I would imagine they have to.
I don't know.
Um,
That's a great question, isn't it?
yeah, I would honestly have to.
Yeah. I mean,
some people,
just
and
I
you
don't
probably have
know.
a
I
better.
know back in the day, it was no different. I mean, I bled a couple times and I'm still here today, but,
Yeah.
so lucky, but, I mean, you don't even think about those things.
Well, and I don't think that it's a gratuitous use of violence. That it's not for everybody. I get that, but I
Mhm.
think that this story warranted it. The one bad thing is you also had blood in the Fletcher and Osprey match, and so when does too much become too much? You and I had that conversation about AEW when they did All Out, when they have Swerve and the hypodermic needle and all that crap.
Yeah.
If the story warrants the violence, it's not that I'm a prude or anything. Go ahead, let's do it. Let's go. But what I appreciate so much is that we're seeing this from women, and you're seeing it really for the first time in a lot of ways, because even WWE, and I'm not picking on the girls over there, but they do like a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
They're not bleeding like this. They're not busting each other open. They're
They don't
not.
need to. They don't need to, and I just again, with AEW, we're starting to see that as a pattern with women. This ain't the first time, it's the second time, third time, and women are bleeding. And I don't believe you have to take it that far and that gruesome, really, to tell a story. Um, maybe for after 18 months or whatever this has been going on, maybe that bloodbath was the ending and maybe it didn't have to be so bad, but it definitely set a mood, a precedence of, where they're at. So, and who they are. But again, as you stated, WWE doesn't need to do that. Isn't that weird?
Well, my thing is, I think that in this particular case, it added to it. I don't think it took anything away from these women.
No, no, it didn't take anything away. But again, I just when I think of AEW or WWE, I think of AEW and bloody women, you know, and it's just they're known for that. So I think now that it's become a pattern in different angles, it's just like each time they do it over there, it's not going to be a shocker anymore.
Well, and I
Just
agree
my
with that
opinion.
in that you have to be careful because it's a sexist world we live in. Women aren't supposed to bleed like that. Um,
Well,
but
maybe once a month, but
stop it. But you have to. Yeah, you're terrible. But and she's completely
I'm
derailed my point.
gonna
But
throw
what?
you tampon. Listen, tampon Tim.
Oh my God, Kane's taking care of that. But
Yeah,
but
I mentioned something, and then I got ridiculed on Twitter. I thought it was great, man. I wanted to fuel that shit so bad. It had nothing to do with him and his fucking. It was just because hey, intergender match has been around longer than Tim Waltz has been stating something about WWE. So
yeah, you beat the crap out of Paul Heyman. We know, man.
whatever.
You beat up my man, and
He loved it.
it still
He
hurts that
loved
you.
it so much.
But my point on the blood and the violence, because I agree with you, is that if you do it so often, you become desensitized to it. It loses its long term effect. It loses the um, it loses the shock factor. It also it loses that women were willing to do this, or men, but I want to focus on the women specifically with this bloodbath. I think it says something about those two and how far they were willing to go to get the story over and
Yeah.
to end it the way they wanted to end it.
Yeah. I don't have any qualms about it. I'm just saying that, I'm starting to see a pattern over here and, I wouldn't next time, comes around a big angle, whatever, I'm just gonna say, well, it's just a matter of time before they bleed because that's the thing that they've already painted per se over there. However, Toni Storm and her angle and Timeless Tony has definitely set the Oscar nomination for that angle. It has never been done that long, that good, that well. I mean, it just hands down, I'm the biggest Toni Storm fan, and I support that whole thing and how she did it and carried through. And God, kudos to her and Mariah and everybody involved. I think it was RJ that actually wrote those scripts. I'm not sure. Um, was it him? RJ City, so whatever his name is.
I believe it was, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, fucking fantastic, man. Just fantastic. And whew, that was really good. And now if they could do something like that in WWE, have angles like that are meaningful, but you got to get the right talent that can act the part that is believable. You need somebody up and coming that hasn't been pasted so hard and so long and been in the forefront. You almost need fresh talent to do that. Kind of like what she did with Mariah, right? That's why.
All agreed, because like you say, I can be highly critical of AEW. Their women, the ones they're featuring anyway right now, are killing it. They are
Yeah. Speaking of killing it, I
right.
know we're going to go over there. I also saw that Saraya might be retiring for good now.
Be a damn shame.
What? You're such a penis.
I said it would be a damn shame. She
Oh,
retired.
just a penis. Anyway,
Stop.
maybe. Well, hey, that chick had everything going for her, and she had some bad luck, and that's all I'm going to say. I feel that she could have been probably a very hot top superstar in WWE if she would have kept going the way she was. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, well, she came out and she beat CM Punk's wife, AJ, first night out.
Yeah.
So somebody believed in her.
Yeah,
Somebody believed
and
in her.
she was rocking it, man. It was just so perfect. So perfect.
To me, she just really wasn't very good in AEW when she came back from the injury. She just wasn't
Well,
good.
again, there's probably hesitant, scared, one wrong move, you're fucking in a chair, but she loves the business. I know that. Her mommy is her mommy, her mama. I love her mom. Her mom is the shit. Let me tell you. Her mom is so fucking cool. I wish I had a mom like that, but it you know, that relationship, I'm sure, it wasn't perfect. They had their ups and downs, just like any mom and daughter. But they eat, I mean, they live, they eat, they breathe that business, and it's in their blood, and that kid loved everything about wrestling, and it just showed. And I think that's why I have so much respect for Saraya, because I know her background and how hard she fought in her family. No pun intending, fighting with her family, but
Mhm.
it's all real. It's all real. So, I mean, I'll always be a Saraya fan though.
Hmm. Very good. Like I said, I think it was more her second run for me, but
Yeah, and
anyway,
again, people don't want to remember you that way, and that's exactly how she was remembered. Yeah.
no. Well, we have to get to her because we wouldn't be paving the way without Mercedes Monet. Um,
Okay.
yeah, you love it. You love when I get on my Mercedes top, but I'm actually going to surprise you.
Great,
Probably,
Mercedes looks good there.
she looks
Look
very
at all
good.
them fucking belts. The one belt she'll never have is the one I have, though.
That's right, the women's champion,
That's
the people's
right.
champion. Excuse me, the people's champion.
That's
Uh,
right.
4 belts Monet here. This is Billy Starks. She's 18 years old, 19 years old, the one on the right here. She is been paired with Athena over on Ring of Honor.
I
She's
saw
another
Athena in New York here when we were at the Mildred Burke movie. I tell you, Athena looks fucking amazing in person. I don't know
Mhm.
what she's done, boy, but she looks hot.
Well, she is in Ring of Honor hell right now. No offense to Athena, but unless you have an Honor Club subscription, nobody sees you wrestle. And
Really?
so
Oh,
they're getting this story ready to bring, I think, Athena in to
yeah.
wrestle Mercedes.
Oh, good.
Mercedes, buckle up, sweetheart, because Athena is the real deal.
Athena will break her in half.
But last night was a very good match. Of course, you have Monet here, 12 years the senior to Billy Starks. This was the setup. And a couple of things on this. What do you think about Renee Paquette getting all sing-songy with the say hello to your CEO nonsense when she introduces her in the back. Like, what do you think of Renee as part of the shtick now, for the lack of a
Well,
better
what's
way to
wrong with
say it?
that? So you're picking on Renee, but it's okay for Michael Cole to do shit like that. Don't even you have no fucking room here, Red.
I never said it was okay for Michael
Oh,
Cole to call John Cena the GOAT,
okay.
because that's
Okay,
not true.
good.
The GOAT is
Okay,
Shawn
good.
Michaels. Don't get me started, because I know that just annoys you too, because I don't say Bret Hart. I say Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is the
Asshole,
GOAT.
asshole, asshole.
So anyway, and he's teaching all the young kids how to be goats, like Stephanie Valcaire and Julia. Pretty good, pretty good match.
Yeah.
But Billy Starks last night had an excellent showing against Mercedes. As you might imagine, Madusa, Billy Starks makes one little mistake, hits her back on the apron. Mercedes hits her submission. Game. So it makes sense. It works. And then she says in an interview, I don't know who taught her how to wrestle, but I would beat them too. So the whole Athena thing, coming in.
Right.
I think AEW, what I want to get to, because we're going to talk about Megan in a second, they're really starting to find some traction, though, with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
right girls in place.
With
We
that.
have
So
been,
if they position that right with Athena, it'll be a fucking showstopper. I hope they do. They need to play that a little bit, like just random showings of something happening and Athena just walking by or something. No, like what? Wait, was that Athena? Like, just build up to it or something. Just there's so many good stuff you could do. Anyway.
well, we know that AEW has a very big roster. They've got a lot of women that wrestle there. It looks like Tony has finally started to find the combination of women that he needs to feature for his best product. I'm not saying the others are unworthy. I'm saying that maybe it's time to move on from everyone's favorite dentist to somebody else, because when you go up and down this roster, Thunder Rosa, Deonna Purrazzo, both former women's champions, not being heavily featured on TV. I forget who Deanna's with right now, the blonde, and I apologize, I forget who it is. But then you've got Mercedes, and you've got Toni, and you've got Mariah, and you've got Meagan Bane, who's looking like Brock Lesnar 2002, or at least that's the game plan, where he just beat up everybody. I don't know that there's room for too many more. So when you were wrestling, very different, because there were 3 or 4 of you, honestly.
Yeah.
Now there's 15 or 20 women
Yes.
in AEW, and let's be honest, probably that many, if not more, in WWE.
Well, so
That
you know what you do? Say we have this roster, Red. Say we have 20 women at AEW, let's say. So you take these 20 women, and what they've done in the past is they've only exercised 2 or 4 of them, and the others just sat there and did something, maybe in dark matches or throw them at ROH or whatever, right? What I do is take those 20 women, see and find out, what's going on right now and what the ideas of blah blah blah, and almost reorganize the whole package. You know, who's ever in a program now, who can we get from the other 15 to slowly start nipping at their heels, and heels, and start working an angle with 2 or 3 of them within these 2, right? Get 2 or 3 out of there. And then you have the 2, and then you have the 2 or 3 shuffling for that area. And then the next couple 3 or 2, you're working your way up to those behind those that are biting at the 2, and it's a program all the way through the chain, working from the very bottom ones and working their way up and intertwining, and see who excels, who's excelling, who's working the promos, who's working the best in the ring. And then all of a sudden you see all of this, and you take that person and you fast track them up a couple notches. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden they're in the program. That's how you're fair. That's how you are equal. because when other people see favoritism and nepo, oh, you know what I'm trying
Nepotism.
to say. What?
Nepotism.
Yes, and nepotism and all the other shit happening, or someone's married to someone and their wife or husband's being pushed just because, it's aggravating. And it isn't so much when talent sees leaders um um aggravating the situation and giving to the people that don't deserve, or it's because of favoritism, you're going to lose some key players in the meantime. And that's what's happened big time there with WWE and all them going to AEW. And then AEW kind of mishapped and they went back to WWE, some of them. But that's what I would do with the women's roster. I mean, I'd have all 20 out here in front of me and I would start programming them and all the way down the food chain. And the bottom food chain starts working their way up. And as they escalate, you just, I mean, it's a no-brainer. And of course, all, 5 increments, 5, 10, 15, 20, 4 increments of different, storylines going on. And somehow they just mysteriously intertwined. It's just so fucking easy. Anyway.
Yeah, there's a stacked roster that doesn't include Britt Baker. I
Oh,
said it,
Jesus
not
Christ.
Madusa. Well, we bring her
Britt
up.
can fucking mop my floor for a while. That's what I'd have her do, and I would videotape that vignette. And I wouldn't even give her fucking plastic gloves when she cleaned the toilet, to be honest.
Now, Madusa said that, not me. What I was saying was
No, I was saying that in your words, you a-hole.
she and Thunder bled first, and they made a big deal about it. And now we're
Right.
here with Toni and Mariah. But I've got some help from my man Darren Walker. We got Jamie Hayter, you've got Willow, you've got Statlander, you've got Meagan Bane, who we're going to talk about. You've got Toni, and Mariah's obviously going to come back, figure into the equation somewhere. You have Mercedes Mone. They've got the right elements
They
in
do.
AEW.
We
And
just
to
got to
me,
get those writers that will stick to the women and not think that, hey, I'm a great writer and we can disperse this person in 700 different places and then that way the women get lost. You need to keep that fucking writer or writers specifically on the women so we can fucking focus and start kicking ass.
and shout out to Stipo Hikaru Shida. Yes, Shida is also on the
And
roster.
Sheeta, yeah.
So my point is, it looks like Tony's finally getting the elements in place. If RJ City is the whisperer of women's wrestling in AEW,
Then he
let's
needs to
let
stick
him
to
do
that.
that.
And let's
Yeah,
fucking do
let
that.
him do that. Because it's working. Now, ironically enough, I would say last night, Mercedes and Billy, and everyone knows I don't like Mercedes, but she had some really good matches. Billy Starks looked pretty good. We've obviously got the Athena build coming in. Eddie Prather asked, would you like to see Athena as a heel or a babyface Madusa?
Depends on how and what angle she's going into. You know what I mean? Something
Looks
like what
like
we just met.
Yeah, looks like Mercedes, not to interrupt you. Looks like it's going to be her and Mercedes. So knowing what you know about Mercedes, CEO, and Athena, would you have her go up against Mercedes as a babyface or a heel?
Well, I think Athena, to kickstart it hard, I think she needs to come in as Athena, and she basically would need to say, you can take me how you want. You can either like me or dislike me. I am me. I'm not trying to be your good guy or bad guy. I've got issues with one person, and her and I go way back in, other federations. She was a bitch there and she's still a bitch, and I've got some cleaning up to do, or something. And so I don't know who wants to see this, but I'm on a mission and I need to correct this woman that this isn't just her throne or something, I don't know.
I would say that's a pretty good start. So it sounds like you would have her well, the crowd would position her to be cheered. Let's put it that way.
Well, being a heel cheer, yeah. See,
Yeah.
here's the difference. She could be a heel, not be a cheating heel, let's say. She's that heel hero where Mercedes comes across as a cocky, belligerent, fucking just can't stand her because she has everything type of heel. There's a big difference.
No, we agree. So kind of a kick-ass heel versus this,
Yeah.
like you said, cocky, arrogant version.
Yeah.
And I think Athena would be a great foil to Mercedes. As much as I hate to say it, I think Mercedes was lazy in the first part of her run of AEW, which is why I was so hypercritical of her.
Only because she
she
was
stepped
trying to find her footing and she was trying to fill boots. I hear an echo all of a sudden. Okay. I don't know. I think she felt that she had big boots to fill from somewhere, just her own boots, because of how hard she was pushed and prompted and shoved down people's throats, that she, she wanted to do it right. And at the beginning is what you saw is kind of like we were talking about John. She was that awkward player, just like John was. You know what I mean? There was awkwardness about her at the beginning of AEW, and it wasn't her fault. She was just trying to get her fucking footing and trying to live up to everybody's goddamn hype.
So you think she needed
and
to find
she was
herself?
trying to find her own. And there's,
Mhm.
we all go through that. We all do that. If it's in a relationship, if it's fucking at a new job, if it's wrestling, if it's whatever, we all trying to find our own and find out where that comfort zone is and who we can joke with and who you can't. You know what I'm saying? So as a character, that's what she was trying to do. I mean, I
I
don't
got
know.
you.
She didn't call me or anything yesterday to tell me that. I'm just fucking gathering. But
Well, Mercedes, I have Madusa's number if you need it. So that's a humble brag. Who in your phone is popular or famous? Madusa is in my phone, ladies and gentlemen. But in all seriousness,
Ooh.
I think her last several matches have been really, really good, really strong. She has been the $4 million player that she was advertised to be.
Yeah.
So I like the fact she's living up to it. Now, as for her character, her promo, her demeanor, I think it still sucks. But watching her inside the wrestling ring
Yeah, I
has been
think
fairly
she stepped it
enjoyable.
up a bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
been fairly enjoyable.
Yeah.
Now, her backstage character, fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck all
Paka,
the way off.
paka, paka.
Fuck
What are you
off.
saying?
Fuck off. Fuck off.
Paka,
If I had a
paka,
bird, that's what it would sound like. Fuck off.
paka.
Um,
Okay, that's
but
it. You need a
anyway,
t-shirt. It goes paka.
about like the video I sent you of the little boy. It says it's a fucking goat. It's the fucking goat.
It's the
He's pointing at
goat.
he's pointing
It's
at
a
somebody
fucking
not everybody
goat.
loves. Uh
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's right. The kid was looking out the window. It's a
yeah,
fucking goat.
the fucking goat.
That's
But
so good.
anyway, so I think
Oh,
I
wait,
think
look, a squirrel. It's a fucking
yeah,
squirrel. No, just kidding.
squirrel, fucking squirrel. That's us. I think that AEW is in a really, really good position to put some very interesting television together. And so we've mentioned her several times. Again, Darren Walker wanted me to specifically to ask you about her.
You know
Meagan
what'd be
Bane.
good? You know what'd be good? Is to have my ass sit there and commentary during all that shit. I'd
Oh
love to do
God,
commentary over there.
I could imagine.
Could you
You
imagine if I had free will? Mm.
best part, you between Shivani and JR. Her, Deuce, you remember the Dangerous Alliance in 1992?
Fuck off!
That was my idea. Her. I signed a
Arr.
million dollar roster over there in WWE. Let me take a kid off this blunt. But Meagan Bane, there she is. I found a picture. Obviously, she's a very attractive woman. She's got the tan just the way you like it.
I thought you were gonna say tits, but you said
Not
tan.
well, those two, but she's
She's
got the
very
headdress,
voluptuous.
the garb. This here,
What is this gimmick, do you think?
she's supposed to be a goddess.
Uh-huh.
She's supposed to be a goddess. So this here, though, to me, Medusa is,
Medusa was a goddess. Just saying.
Yes, she was. But she also, well, she wasn't a goddess. She was a titan. I think. I don't think Madusa was a goddess. I think she was a
She
titan.
was a goddess.
I don't think she was a goddess.
I'm a goddess.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
Madusa, MADUSA is a goddess. I don't think
Made
the
in the
Greek
USA,
called
bitch. Okay.
the Medusa with
The
the hair.
Greek, listen, she was a Greek goddess. The real Medusa was a Greek goddess.
I still want to say she was a titan,
Not
but
a Versace goddess, a fucking Greek goddess.
well, Meagan Bane is the new challenger to one Toni Storm.
Oh.
And I loved. Okay, so obviously I'm a child. I grew up during the Attitude Era. Toni Storm's promos just popped the hell out of me. I sent you her promo to Meagan Bane yesterday.
Oh, I
The
didn't
big-
see it. Did I?
the big, yeah, you did. The bigger they are, the harder they come.
Oh,
And it looks
yes.
like
Oh,
you
fucking
and I
okay.
have a tantric moment set for Dynasty. And I'm gonna walk out with this strap on. I mean, everything is a double entendre.
Yeah.
But she gets away with it. So first, before we get to Megan, why does Toni Storm get away with it? Why does she get to do that?
Well, why not? That's her
Okay,
character.
so why not? We live in
So here's my
2025.
thing. Here's
Cancel
my beef.
culture, all of
Don't
that
let
sort of
anyone else do it. They will
Okay.
fucking ruin their whole woman roster bullshit and the road that they're on if they start letting women say and do and be like Toni. No one can be like Toni. No one can speak like Toni. You know what I mean? Everyone's got to be different. So hopefully that stays.
I like that. I really do. But my whole point was like and I'm not disagreeing with you. She gets away with saying some outlandish shit, which I think is great. It's professional wrestling. It's supposed to be the circus. If you don't like the trapeze artist, look for the clown car. If you don't like the clown car, go look for the guy with the sword or find the bearded lady or whatever. The circus.
Yeah.
It's for everybody. So she gets away with it, but I also think it fits her character. I think the outlandish shit she says fits the outlandish shit she does.
It's very British, even though she's not British. But I mean, her whole character is like a British. And it reminds me of the show. Everybody go look it up. She is a take off of the show Absolutely Fabulous. So her whole phrasing and her speaking and her arrogance is like the two ladies on Absolutely Fabulous. That fucking when that show came out, I would watch that. I have everything on CD from that show. Wait till you see that. Red, you need to look up Absolutely Fabulous because this is exactly what Toni is.
Well, I will find it on one of my 97 subscription platforms.
Okay.
And I'm going to get the MLB network too, so I can watch the Yankees. I saw somebody earlier in the chat
Go
disparaging
Twins.
the Yankees for the
Fuck
Braves.
the
That's
Yankees.
okay. You can be a Braves fan. They're number 2 in the power rankings. Yankees are number 7 right now. That's only because they lost the closer or the ace. But we're fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
You didn't ask, but I'm telling you. So anyway, on the Toni Storm thing, she's so outlandish it works. Now, opposite of this, Meagan Bane comes out, beats up Thunder Rosa. She's done it a couple times. She was paired with Penelope Ford, which was interesting.
It was odd. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little odd. But Meagan Bane originally wrestled for AEW. She was on Dark. Then she's gone to HOG, I believe it was, House of Glory, and she was their champion, and now she's come back to AEW. And so AEW now has positioned her. I said 2002 Brock Lesnar. For those of you who don't know, Brock Lesnar, the agent Paul Heyman, the next big thing, that was their whole deal in 2002. And he come out and he beat the crap out of everybody. He never said a word. But Paul Heyman did the talking for him. Right now, Madusa Meagan Bane doesn't have a Paul Heyman, but she's got the look. She uses the F5 like Brock did. She's big. She's got a presence. So, how would you book Meagan Bane and Timeless Toni?
Okay. That's interesting. She's tall too, isn't she? So
Much more so than the other women. Yes, ma'am.
she's just very statuesque. And so that's a great gimmick for her. Definitely walk in slowly. command the presence. Don't need to say much or walk fast or run. She just owns every step that she takes. I think that she's the woman that when she gets to the point she does speak, like Brock finally did, the person that would be escorting her, let's say, to every match or every promo would stand back and look at her and be in awe of her kind of the same way. And not so much to copy Paul, but as a woman, kind of that whole way. I think she would do very well with a woman guidance, somebody powerful that could actually, probably throw a kick or two herself. Doesn't really mean that they'd get into a match or anything, but someone that could hold the whole promo situation and had, run or coward if she had to, you know. Um I think that you deal her delicately, meaning that you just don't throw her in and lose. If you're going to get this woman across, you start having her come in and do a match that, however she wrestles, she clears these matches and almost a squash match that is, um, oh my fucking God moment. Okay, you've got our attention. Who the hell is this bitch? That type of introduction is what needs to be happen. So I would definitely take somebody like Britt Baker, and after she's wrestled, a person or two, whatever, and she's getting her stance, I'd have Britt come in, wrestle. Britt's not going to lose. You would have her come in and pin Britt in the ring, 1, 2, 3 to start this shit off.
So it's happened already without Britt Baker. It's Thunder Rosa twice. So she's put
They're
Thunder Rosa.
squashing Thunder Rosa twice, though. It don't make sense.
Yeah, she's put Thunder Rosa down twice. She beat Statlander. You loved the pacing, the clip last night from the match.
Yes.
That was the main event of the show, by the way, in Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a blizzard, but
that was sped up. That clip you sent me was sped up. I mean,
but Meagan Bane and Statlander had a great match.
Yeah.
And Mercedes and Billy had a great match earlier in the show, which is what I'm saying. AEW, I think, is finally starting to find their stride.
Good.
Statlander, though, we've watched Statlander before. We've talked about her, Deuce. She's a big woman, strong, powerful, that actually can go toe-to-toe with Meagan Bane.
Yeah.
And the ladies did a very nice job.
Maybe it's those two that you start building up to be the main attraction. You maybe there's a point here after you see Toni start doing her thing through the girls. Maybe that it's that one move where she takes Toni down. And I think that's what's going to get her over. You know what I mean?
So she's hit Toni with that move twice now, and they are going to wrestle at Dynasty. So this would lead me to ask you this, and we'll talk about Dynasty before it happens, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot of love for Meagan Bane right now.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of investment in Toni Storm. There's been a lot of time, a lot of energy. She's a 4-time women's champion. Do you, Madusa, the wrestler, booker, creator, pull the trigger and put the title on Meagan Bane at Dynasty?
No.
The next pay-per-view.
No. No. Mm-mm. Show me Statlander and Meagan Bane. Do you have pictures of them?
Not together, no.
Okay.
But I can probably find some.
So Statlander, who has she wrestled lately? Who was it?
Well, she wrestled Willow in that really good street fight, and then she's wrestled Penelope, and the chat may have to help me out with some other wrestlers.
Okay, but she has never gone toe to toe with Toni.
Statlander, not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay. Has she gone toe to toe with Thunder?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. And how would you rate Statlander?
She had pretty good matches with Mercedes Moné. Had a couple good ones. Probably the best ones she's ever had were with Mercedes, to be honest.
But isn't Statlander known as a good wrestler?
For AEW, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So she needs some work.
Yeah,
So
there you go. There's their standoff. Big women. Big, strong, powerful women.
So that's Statlander and Meagan?
Yeah, that's Statlander on the left, Meagan on the right.
Right, correct.
Yeah. Yeah, and Statlander's dropped the alien gimmick she used to do. But
right.
Best matches I think were with Monet. She had a couple really good ones with Mercedes.
Well, again, maybe Mercedes was carrying that match though, you know?
I think Stat held up her own, but Mercedes certainly led the match.
Directed it. Yes. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, certainly did.
All right. So Statlander is not up there yet, but Meagan has the presence. That's what the whole hype is. And
correct.
They want to push her. And I saw her here at the beginning though. They were pushing that girl and she didn't know where the fuck she was going.
Yeah.
And it looked messy. And you can't do it that quick. You can't. You're going to lose the respect and you're going to ruin the character. You can't.
And I don't think it's messy now. I think they're pretty spot on with what they've done. The one thing I would say, and this is my opinion, I don't know that Meagan Bane's ready for them to pull the trigger and be the face of the women's division.
No, I wouldn't do it. She's not yet. No, she's not ready yet. I still think you parade her around as questionable. I'd clean up the act really quick before you ruin this presence of this woman. Her walking in with her whole gear and her presence, walking in, just a soft march. You know what I mean? Step, 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 stop, look, you know, and just the aura, the arrogance. You know who does that really well? Is Charlotte. You know what I mean? And she just commands it. Now, I noticed a lot of resemblance. If you look at the video at the beginning of this program, I did the same thing at the beginning. You stop, you have your robe on, you hold your arms out, and you twirl around slowly like this. And then you grab your. As soon as I saw that, I thought of Charlotte right away. I'm like, well, damn, Charlotte does that. And then, not that I'm saying she copied me. She did her thing from her dad, probably, or her own thing. But what I'm saying is, it's slow motion stuff like that is what Meagan needs. Who's ever going to write her to whatever program or whatever is going to happen, it needs to happen now and protect that whole image and not just throw her in the wolves and give her a title. This is the one that's going to have to be milked for a while, where she doesn't need a fucking title. That all she needs to do is walk into a room. You know what I mean? There's been very few characters like that just doesn't need a title. They're that fucking good. Can you mention anybody that comes off that you can think of?
That didn't need a title?
Yes.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
Jake never needed a fucking title.
Never needed a title.
That was one badass fucking character.
Roddy Piper never needed a title.
He didn't either. No. There's a whole bunch of it, and it was all that era.
Yeah. And they were just good at what they did.
Yes. Character driven. That's how I see her as. Not any specific like them, but in a whole, and develop that where she'd be that good as presence. And I don't know how her promos are or anything, but
the biggest one of all time, probably Deuce, but The Undertaker. Granted, he won the title.
Yeah.
But he never really needed to carry the title. That's why he never carried it for long periods of time.
He didn't. No, he could still bring a box office in and not have a title.
Taker never needed the title. Now he had it because they recognized him as the guy, but
Yeah.
he didn't ever really need it. Now I will say this about Bane, because I have seen and heard the comparison with Lesnar. If you remember, Lesnar debuted the day after WrestleMania. He's with Paul Heyman. That's an automatic elevation. He
Yeah.
takes the Hardy Boys on in his first match in a handicap and then a tag team match. Nasty videos of the steel chair shots he took.
Yeah.
Legit, by the way, NCAA champion, 105 wins in the Big Ten. Madusa knows that. University of Minnesota, badass wrestlers from the University of Minnesota. Then he wins the King of the Ring by taking out RVD. And the guy that makes him at SummerSlam is The Rock. So before we all get crazy about Meagan Bane and making the Brock Lesnar comparison, I'm not saying she's not a great athlete. I'm not saying she doesn't have the capability. What I'm saying is Lesnar was the next big thing. That was the perfect moniker for him.
Yeah. Yes.
And he ran through everybody, and he had Paul Heyman directing the creative.
Who used that? The next best thing. Who was that?
Lesnar. That's what Paul Heyman called him, was the next big thing.
Correct. Okay, so that's what I mean. We need something like that for her, and just start carrying her through until we get to that point. It could be done, and I could see it with her. It hasn't, you kind of saw it with Camille. She had that presence there for a while, and then I don't know what the fuck happened there, but she had that presence of Meagan Bane. Meagan Bane and her both. I could see her, there's two statuesques right there.
Well, I would say the one thing about Camille is when she does go to WWE, they're going to not make the mistake they made it in AEW. So
what's that?
Whatever it was, Triple H won't make the mistake with her.
Did she get signed with WWE?
No, I'm saying that's probably where she'll go, because they're not going to use her in AEW. Those reports have come out.
I wonder why. Why?
I don't know, some backstage bullshit, I'm sure. But anyway.
So the next, yes. So where are we at?
Well, women. I was just saying, from the timeless standpoint, what we were going to talk about was women in wrestling and how things have changed. Now, you did mention it, that sometimes it was who you know, might have been a husband, was a wrestler, might have been somebody you were connected to, might have been somebody you found. Lots of different ways for women to get into the wrestling business previously, Madusa. Now they're all
every era had their era, but it's like from before the Diva Search, let's say, right? Mm-hmm. And even the Diva Search, how did women get into wrestling? Some of them grew up in the business, Saraya. Some were second generations, Natty, third, whatever. And so those were givens, right? Of course, her whole family wrestling, Saraya, and so on and so forth. So there was very few of those, really, right? But the women, I would say from, I don't know, maybe it still happens today, but I know that even back in my era and after my era, that whatever that attitude era and back, a lot of women just fell into the business because, I mean, it was something that wasn't on TV. It's not like they could have watched women on TV regularly on a regular program and say, hey, I want to be a woman wrestler, right? It was just one of those, you saw them at the circus or it was down at the armory just by chance because you were dragged there with your dad and brother and they couldn't find a babysitter, so you went with them wrestling as a woman, as a girl. And lo and behold, there's a women wrestling match, and those are some of the, ways that women probably got into wrestling. But back in the day, women were fitness models, or some of them were strippers. Some of them were hitchhiking on the road. prostitution, somebody's sister, brother's mother, cousin, just, hey, she happened to be at the show. Let's throw her in the ring. Shit like that. That's how it happened. You know, hey, my girlfriend's here. Can she manage so and so down the ring? I mean, when you think about times like that, yeah, I'm one of them. You know, I was at a playing volleyball at some Minneapolis sports bar lake area, and a friend of mine, he was a Hollywood stunt producer and came up to me and said, "Hey, you'd be good in show business." And I'm thinking, "Yeah, a stunt woman, I could do that." No, pro wrestling. I'm like, "Are you fucking crazy?" No. So it wasn't a business that I thought, "Hey, I want to be a pro wrestler someday." Of course, women really weren't on television, so I didn't know. But I was approached, and I was just putting myself through school as a nurse, and life changed. So, I mean, I was one of them too that, wrestling wasn't my passion back then, but I fell into it and then it became my passion. Um, and Sherry was another one. I'm not sure. I think it's, God, someone quote me on this. I think she was actually working in a titty bar and she got discovered or something. I can't remember. I think that is it, the truth or the facts, I should say. Someone correct me, but I think that that's what it was. Um, Talking to her, I know, yeah, where was she? Mississippi or Alabama back then? I'm not sure. But I mean, just, situations like that. So, but when you fast forward it to today and what you have to do, I mean, holy shit, what a difference. I commend, Trip to have a vision and make it become the statue of what you need to do to become a wrestler. Not just women, men and women. The performance center. I mean, God, to have a performance center, a place to live out your dream, because now little girls do see it on TV and it's something that they plan on wanting to be. You have like Izzy Moreno that was like big fan of Bailey's and now she's fucking wrestling, and you see her grow up in the business and Bailey being her idol, and it's just so crazy how this all comes about. It's so amazing. But to have these kids have the opportunity to have the PC center and get paid while you train before you even go out there is just insane. And the kids that, I think it's great. I think it's a good place because it weeds out the bad, even though there's probably some still bad in it, but overall there's more good, guys. I know you don't want to hear that, but there's more good in it. And it just warms my heart to see the change of what it was where it's at. Because we all want things to evolve and get better and situations to get better, and it gets better for the next generation each time. So each era has had its hand in to bring it to where it's at today, definitely. Every era, good, bad, or indifferent, whatever y'all feel or think, what you liked or didn't like. But that PC center is everything that they needed. And I think that's another reason why it has escalated with WWE and it makes them so big and untouchable is because they have so many components that is the lifeline to the big stage, that it's just fun. It's just fun. I don't know how else to put it, but it's just fun to see it. All right, another tangent. But anyway.
No, you're fine because you're correct. What WWE is doing is building a farm system with WWE ID, where you're identifying young
Yeah.
prospective talent. You're bringing them to a PC and a training center. Then you're putting them on NXT and you're getting them to work the WWE way. because there is a specific way that WWE presents their professional wrestling. Then you're going to elevate them to Raw or SmackDown. You have created an entire system where you will never run out of professional wrestlers. Madusa, we talk about it, and we almost talk about it like it's a joke, but it wasn't. It was you, Bull Nakano, and Bertha Faye until 1995, and then it was the Japanese women like Kong, Ozzy Kong,
Aja Kong, yeah.
Aja Kong,
Yeah.
and the others. The point being, you didn't have anybody to work with. We've talked about 20 different women on this show that imagine the matches you could have if we could pick you up and drop you into 2025, or vice versa, pick them up and drop them into, say, oh, I don't know, 1992 when you're running around with Polly, or 94 when you're in WWE, the new generation. You're supposed to be the face of a woman's division. You're the face of something that didn't exist in the same way that it exists today. But
Yeah.
you're the face of something. They have it because of people like you. Let's put it that way.
Well, again, a company chooses a person to be their face and gives them the title because they believe in that person and respect. I think it's an honor for you to be chosen to give the belt. Absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot of responsibility.
Well, and we've talked about a bunch of women in AEW, but you look at WWE, we both think a lot of
I think
Julia.
the companies need to make it more. I think maybe the company needs to go back and make the belt mean something.
Agreed. Agreed,
And not
because,
just give it to 600 people a year.
well, I mean, let's talk about this for a second with WWE. On a Monday Night Raw, you have Iyo Sky defeat Rhea Ripley, who is your biggest talent in the women's division. And then Bianca Belair wins the Elimination Chamber, and it looks like we're headed to a three-way with these women. And I don't know if it's because Iyo can't cut a promo because she's Japanese. I mean, I understood what she said in English, but is there a lack of confidence in Io's ability to bring the heat? Is there some, because the women's title,
No,
there's
you know
two of
what?
them.
You said it right there. If WWE really wanted to bring down the house, they would invest a little bit more in Iyo to let her practice whatever she's good at and what she feels comfortable in saying, because a good writer will have her limited speaking, but those words that they choose her to say will be millions and millions of dollars. She doesn't need to say much. There's been people that spoke English that couldn't even fucking speak more than 3 years and tore the house down, right? So why couldn't she just one day turn around and just say, "You bitch and bitch. It's Iyo Sky time." You know what I mean? Or time, whatever. It's, whatever. And I'm going to clean house with you and you. I may be Japanese. You may not understand me, but I'm going to learn you my language real quick. You know what I mean? And make Japanese cool. Could you imagine the marketing? People fucking want to buy Japanese shit. You know what I mean? Because the lettering, the katakana, the hiragana, the kanji, all of it is fucking amazing on a t-shirt. You know? All she has to do is say a little bit and get messages over and have the fear of God put into these women from Iyo, because Iyo probably could kick all of their fucking asses and stretch them in a pretzel along with Asuka. You know what I'm saying? And so, and Cody Sane, I mean, she's a very good wrestler and a flyer. She's, she probably can't hurt a fly, but she probably could put on a submission or two. Iyo is more believable than Cody Sane. But a damn good wrestler. Not disrespecting on any of their ability, because both of them are badass. But that trio is amazing. They were walking off with the four horsewomen. They were doing some other, these clubs of women. There's no reason why they can't carry on with the 3 Japanese women and just have them. Why don't they just call them here in America and just call them the Yakuza? I mean, that may get heat in Japan, but I mean, what the fuck?
Well, and to your point, Cody Sane, obviously, Iyo Sky, Asuka, and then let's not forget Shotzi, all very, very good wrestlers. Now,
But Shotzi's still known as an American, even though she has mix in her. But it's still, you've got 3 Japanese girls, and having Shotzi with them to help communicate, I think is brilliant. And Shotzi's good. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and the thing about Asuka is, you said it. You don't have to say a lot, but you say it. When she had that monumental run of over 500 days as the champ, the line was, "Nobody's ready for Asuka." That's
yes,
all she
that's it.
said, and that's all she needed to say.
Exactly. And they
They
can
can do
do
the
the
same
same
thing
shit
with
with
Iyo.
Iyo. And
Yeah.
the only thing I'd find disrespectful a bit, because if they don't come back with something for Iyo, I'm just going to say it's very disrespectful. When they have Bianca and fucking Rhea face planting her each week. You know what I mean? I'm like, really? Something needs to happen here. Iyo needs to clean house on both of those fuckers.
Well, and like this, the look, like you can see,
Yes.
she's
It's like they're
playing
just
her,
purposely putting
yeah,
her aside because she can't communicate.
and she's the champ. And she's the champ for a reason, because I don't believe Paul Levesque makes those types of choices lightly. And then you see her here. Again, look at the positioning, Madusa.
Yeah.
She's in the back.
These 2
She's
are
the champ.
monumental, and I'm nothing. This is
Yeah.
the shit that what I'm talking about when I said increments of women, right? They're gonna have to start getting her. Somebody's gonna have to come out in fucking nowhere and make a statement. Now it would be badass. Them pushing not Booker me, them pushing her around like that. And out of nowhere, here comes Bull Nakano walking down. Doesn't mean she's gonna wrestle. When she comes down with half her face painted and her fucking hair up, the fucking crowd would go crazy.
Yep.
And then she walks straight over to Iyo, whispers something, blah, 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 blah. Bull turns around, does her nunchucks, throws them to Iyo, bows down, and walks out.
Yep.
And there, this just a little something that could continue. That's fucking, then
And
the
all the,
shit's on.
and all of a sudden, you've created a legitimate badass that's 5 foot tall, but she's gonna
Yes!
knock your fucking head off.
Yes!
She's gonna knock your head off.
Anyway,
Because
so
let's
there's
face it,
that.
everybody loves ninja movies, and everybody loves nunchucks. Like, legitimately, this is badass when somebody can actually do the nunchucks properly. It is. But I
Here's
like
a
that idea.
question. Should Bailey go back to damage control? No, it's kind of like putting Bailey back in a fucking ponytail with the fucking flippy dude. No.
Yeah. So Madusa has spoken. Or you could reunite Triple, Asuka, Iyo, those 3 clean house. Yeah, Dalton Riley likes your idea as well. Triple tails with
I'll be
Asuka.
here all
Carter.
day, AEW.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's WWE,
I
but
mean WWE.
you're a member of the Hall of Fame, so they should
Oh,
listen to
that
you
don't
anyway.
mean anything.
Somebody call Paul. I know you've got his number.
Oh, yes, I can call Paul.
Call him and tell him we've got an idea. Call them the Yakuza. Everybody but anyone in Japan will love it. For those of you playing along at home, that would be the Japanese mafia. Just tell Triple H you got an idea. Call the women the Yakuza. Everybody except those in Japan will love it. Yeah. You say it however you say.
We are the Yakuza. Oh my God, the fucking goddamn Japanese
the heat
mafia
they would get
them.
just by calling them the Japanese mafia. Yeah, I mean seriously.
Kotex Mafia. There you go.
But they are some badasses. And again, they're not positioning this story though, to me, Madusa, this 3-way, in the same way that's effective the way AEW has been with their storytelling as of late with the women's division. Now, I'm never going to count WWE out of it. but just making Iyo a second-class citizen inside her own storyline.
And being Japanese, that could be fire. So hopefully they're doing this right because they're doing it right. You have white girl, black girl, Japanese, right? And you've got these two that are prominent pushing the Japanese girl around and just keeping like she's a piece of shit to the side. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Right? I'm just like I mean that hit hard with me. Like I'm like something's got to rock here. Something is got to have a big twist, kind of like the fucking scenario I just gave you. I mean, it doesn't have to be much. You've got fucking, with Bull Nakano coming down in her garb and whispering, doing whatever, and all of a sudden she opens up her robe and her nunchucks are there. Boom, she walks over, hands it to her. I mean, just something that simple is going to get this fucking woman, and then she goes ape shit, knocks out, takes out fucking Ripley, takes out fucking Bianca, and then who's left, right? Then who wants to fuck with her? You push me, and let her go up to her and take her face and just fucking face plant both of them. Just shaking in their shoes, and they should. Anyway.
No, I love it. I love it. And I would take it one step farther because I'm the character guy. Have Iyo be Bull. Put the makeup on and do the hair because I love that look. Iyo. Have Iyo do, if you're going to give her the nunchucks, give her the hair too.
No.
That's so badass. I love the hair.
Only one can pull that off.
I know there's only one. And there was only one woman at 175 pounds that jumped off a cage and did a guillotine leg drop too.
There you go.
Was Bull Nakano. So
yeah, she's so tiny now. I think she'd break in half.
Yeah, what a badass though when she did that off the cage in Japan. So this does kind of fit because we're talking about new women, old women. CJ, I've seen him on other streams. I know he's a huge Bailey fan.
Oh, he keeps asking about Bailey. What
should they do with Bailey? The crowd's not popping right now. Madusa,
no, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right about Bailey. And I think I loved Bailey as her cute little figure, the side ponytail and growing and da. And then personally, I think Bailey's so damn good and knows this business. I think that she's going to end up being a good coach or a writer after she retires, whenever that is. But right now, I'm where you're at. I don't feel anything right now. Heel or babyface, you go either way with her. It feels muddled. It just feels muddy. And not any lack of her. It just feels muddy. I just feel like they've never known what to do with her after that fucking character. When she was in Damage Control, it was a great little, fraction, but it just, as an individual, it's lost.
Mm-hmm. So my thought on Bailey is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, and that's fine, because that's what we do here, is she has become like Natty. They're the gatekeepers of the women's division.
Yeah,
they're going to have good matches.
She's the gatekeeper of that generation. Yeah,
they're going to be the gatekeepers, in that they're going to tell Paul Levesque, Triple H, or Shawn Michaels, hey, this girl can go. This one might not be able to. She needs some work. She needs this. Has Natty Neidhart ever had a bad wrestling match? No, but has she ever been at the apex of professional wrestling, particularly in the most recent era, Madusa? No. But no one's ever going to say Natty's bad in the ring. Bailey did the job for Tiffany to legitimize Tiffy time out of the gate. Yeah. Out of the gate.
So, and that's kind of like Thunder Rosa doing it for her too, out of the gate. And it just, I wish they wouldn't have done that to Thunder yet.
So, and that's what I say about Natty, and it's not disparaging to Natty Neidhart, even though she says my Uncle Brett instead of my dad, the Anvil, because the Anvil was a better guy better character anyway than Uncle Brett. But my favorite of the team. Oh, look, when he used to rub the beard and he do the laugh.
It was so good. He was such a fucking great crazy man. It was, and the way he laughed.
Yeah. See, I would be talking about my dad, not my uncle, but that's me. Especially if it was Anvil. But anyway, on the topic of Natty, Bailey,
Bailey.
you're getting into these women, and even Alexa may find herself in this role as an older player who maybe
Yeah, but
we're not.
Alexa's not even at WrestleMania or anything now.
No, they pulled her. I saw the report, but I don't pay for Fightful. I saw where Sean Ross Sapp had reported that the plan for a tag match has been scrapped, but I don't subscribe, so I don't know what the rationale or whatever else was. But what I'm saying is there's going to be some of these older women. I say older, they're not old, but they're the veterans that are going to get pushed down a little bit so that you can bring in these newer, younger talents. And Natty has been a very good gatekeeper, and that may be what Bailey's doing now. That's all.
I
That
think
may
so.
be what Bailey's going to do. But again, without Bailey, the legitimization of Tiffany Stratton does not happen. Without Nia Jax, the legitimization of Tiffany Stratton does not happen. And I know you're up in the air on Tiffy time. In fact, you're probably harder on it than I am. But Tiffany Charlotte is exactly what we said. It's the imposter versus the original, the wannabe versus the authentic. And it's Tiffany and Charlotte. They're full steam ahead. The promos on TV aren't good, but if you watch social media, another element you didn't have 30 years ago, Madusa, to build a wrestling program.
See, and that's the beauty about wrestling now. If the women can't cut promos, a lot of them have the script writer, do a lot of stuff for them to put out on social media. So not only do you have a chance at live promos, if you're good at, that's great. But then if you're good at the whole social media as well, I mean, that's even a double bonus. And then if you're a great wrestler, holy shit, you're a fucking total package. So, and that's very rare to have one person be able to do all of them. So again, I love, I mean, every woman in there, I'm is probably a good person and they're fun. And I would love myself to probably roll around the ring with them and have a good time. And I respect them all. But when I say and point out certain things, it's not personally, it's just what I see. So with Tiffy Time, I think it was just, fast track too far, too hard, too fast. And I'm not the character fan at all because I feel like I just saw it and it's a repetitive thing. And I like new characters, new thing. Now, if we had some time in between, and then Tiffy Time came out, then I would probably be, more open and game for it. But again, I think that, again, I feel that the promos are mm, and again, she's got a lot of work. She's just been throwing everything again, and being pushed to the gill. And it's hard. It's very strenuous. It's fucking, trying to fill the shoes, kind of like Mercedes trying to do her thing in AEW, fill in a pair of boots that were empty to begin with, and plus coming off a fucking major injury, she had a lot, to carry. And, when someone like Tiffy is given that opportunity, she don't want to fuck up. She don't want to, miss that opportunity. And so, but again, she has no control how fast or hard someone's pushing her when she's not ready in every department.
So let me ask you this so we can come full circle real fast. Do you think that AEW could run the risk of pushing Meagan Bane too fast the same way WWE pushed Tiffany too fast?
Absolutely. And that's how I felt at first because, you were seeing it. She was missing her spot. She was clumsy and just again, that's why I said you need to scroll back on where you're at before you fucking ruin her and take your time with her. Period.
Okay.
And I just, Tiff's got some great moves and stuff, but my girl who I fucking want to see, and I love that they're taking their time with her. I hope they don't push her to the next gill here too fast is Sol Ruka or whatever. That's the one I'm watching.
Yes, Sol Ruka down there at NXT, obviously. Julia, Stephanie Valkyr. Shawn Michaels has a lot of very talented women to be able to mentor.
Mhm.
And that's a pretty good teacher for the women wrestling the style they're wrestling.
Someone brought up Jada Parker. Jada Parker too has an aura about her where she's just fucking like someone that could come off the street and beat your fucking ass. She's the type of person that you don't tell, that her fucking muffins were burnt in the oven. She would fucking shove them down your throat and make you eat them with a glass of milk. You know what I'm saying? So Jada Parker has that aura about her already where it definitely separates her from a lot of people. I can see Jada Parker getting fast tracked if, all the bullshit in the back room would be left alone and politics stay the fuck out of everything. And people just know their fucking role and do their job. And that's including talent as well and not mess around with bullshit. And focus and remember why you're there. Um, that chick probably could do a lot.
Yeah, when you define it, you can look at her and see she has it. She may
It
not be the best professional wrestler you've ever seen, but there is a charisma, an aura, a
No,
magnetism
that's it
about Jada
right
Parker,
there.
and that's
Yeah.
it.
And I hope if someone's feeding her that, I hope it's in a good way and not someone that fills their own head with it. Because that is a disaster. And it's sad to see if they, if it gets to that point and they can't walk into a room because their head's too big, like John couldn't get his head through his fucking shirt. So there's that. Um,
You know he
so
listens to the show. I'm gonna tell him you said that it was all you.
I'm talking about his character, you a hole. God. Anyway, so yeah, so the it factor, I see it in Jada. I see it in Sol Ruka, but I need to hear her promos. Um Julia and Valkyrie, again, split English, broken English, okay promos. Again, they're really pushing them hard. I know that they're going to have to work on that because a good person that's paving the way to let them know that if you can't speak well, you're going to get fucking face planted by top tier wrestlers and get pushed aside. Iyo Sky. So hopefully they don't let that happen and they do better. See what I'm seeing here? See what I'm saying by this fucking yeah. Um what else? So I know we've been all over the place and we're talking, we haven't even got to Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn. We're not going to.
I don't know why you printed those off because they weren't on the agenda today, ma'am.
Oh, it wasn't?
No, no, we talked about Kevin. I stepped in bubblegum last time.
Oh, wait.
She printed off both agendas. One from last week.
Oh, motherfucker. That's
No,
probably why you kept looking at me like, oh no, you
no,
have Cruz on here scheduling updates.
you've been doing fine.
Trish
Yeah,
and Stat. Yeah.
yeah, you've
This
been
is
doing
the new
fine.
one, you prick.
Yeah, I sent you the new one, but Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn aren't on it.
Yes,
We're
it is.
talking.
It's C.
See,
You have elimination. Oh, that's Toronto, Canada.
yeah, that would be the last notes, honey.
That's the last note. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
We've
What
gotten
an
to
idiot.
mostly everybody except Jordan Grace, who
Okay,
was a
let's finish off
TNA.
there.
She's a TNA come over signee. Obviously, was at the Rumble. We talked about her then. She's done an amazing job getting herself in the best shape of her life. Her words, not mine. Um, she's got a much different look than when she was first in TNA. She's got the grooming, but she's in NXT. So they didn't put her on the main roster immediately, Madusa. And again, she's got a unique look. She has a good move set. Jordan Grace, where does she need to go? What does she need to do? What would you like to see out of her? Do you have a connection with her? Is there something they're missing for the audience for Jordan Grace?
I man. I will say timing's everything, and she was at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and that's a fair assessment and a fair statement. I think that she had a banger of a match with our girl Tessa. I will say our girl. Tessa may have done some bullshit in
I
the
back
past.
that up. Yep, I'll always be a Tessa girl.
As long as she has, done what she needs to do to earn the forgiveness, I'm good for it. But we're talking in the ring.
Let's get the fuck over that. Everyone makes mistakes.
I was
And
listening
I
to
understand what she said too, and I don't take it lightly. I'm just saying, if we fucking stayed on somebody by a mistake they did their whole fucking life, damn and shame, because every person that puts out something negative about her past, every single one of them motherfuckers have done something stupid in their life. And I wish I could go down each one and find out who each person is, and then find out somebody that knew something they did stupid, and how the fuck would they like it? This world is unforgiving. I'd like to think people are forgiving. I'd like to be gave or give or whatever the fuck on something stupid I've done. Unless I killed somebody or done whatever, then I need to have my head checked. But just Jesus Christ, people. I get it. It's not a good thing or a good saying, whatever the fuck she did. It just so you just let's say you were the last two people on Earth and you were fighting off fucking crazy zombies. You'd have to team up with that person to stay alive. You would be thinking about the bad thing she did 10 years ago. Oh, for fuck's sake. You'd be trying to break bread with her and fucking shoot a deer and eat the meat. Fuck. Anyway, Jesus Christ.
No, I was listening to Magnum talking about her this week, and he said that she is lean like a racehorse right now.
Yes.
And she has gotten herself in the best shape of her life. She's probably 25 pounds lighter than when she was in TNA the first time.
Yeah.
And she didn't look like a big woman to me then, but apparently she is very, very lean, and she's getting ready to make a run for the TNA title. So
good. Good. And she should embrace whatever it is and whatever they're doing, and just do the best you can in what you're given.
Well, and the one thing about it is that people, obviously the personal attacks and stuff, I'm not gonna
shame on those people for not just moving on. Jesus Christ.
Well, she was wrong for saying those things if she said them. But what I was getting at was, from the standpoint of creative.
No one is saying it was right. Everyone, just saying, okay.
I didn't say you did.
I fucked up. Let's move forward. Okay. People that can't let go of the past,
all I was going to say is creative people will rub people the wrong way.
Creative people?
Yeah. Creative, powerful, intellectual, character-driven, all those types of people.
Oh, okay. I'm tracking what you're saying. Yeah.
They will rub people the wrong way.
Yes.
But you can still do business together. Now, if it becomes a personal issue because you shot your mouth off when you shouldn't have, you have to go make that right. From what I understand.
And she did.
She's done it. Then that's what I'm saying.
Yes. I spoke to both the girls. They're fine. But no one else is. But the two girls are.
But the in-ring stuff has never been bad. Her in-ring work has never been a question mark for anybody. So that's what I enjoy about Tessa Blanchard is her in-ring work. I think she's very, very good. And I think that she could compete with any of the women that we have spoken about.
I'm fans with both those girls, right? And they both had a conversation and they both moved on. and they
Yeah.
both accept each other, and they've so but no one else can. But what matters is those two. So
Well,
there's that.
and I'm going to say this about Tessa, and you know both of her dads.
Yes.
They were pretty strong egos in Magnum and Tully.
Yeah.
Tully
Well,
Blanchard
Dolly especially, yeah.
Tully did not have a problem telling anyone to go fuck themselves. And
And a little bit more, yeah.
yeah, absolutely did not have a problem telling people where to put it.
Apple doesn't
So,
fall far from the tree.
no. And Magnum is not afraid to tell people what he thinks. He may be a
No.
little bit more diplomatic.
Yes,
but
he is. I love Magnum. He's a great
but he
guy.
was but he was also the Dreams guy. He was Dusty's guy for a long time. So he got to see all the ins and the outs and the ugliness that this
Yeah.
business can be. So
Yeah.
anyway, like I said, those are strong characters, strong people. You think Stone Cold Steve Austin was the easiest person to get along with? He walked
So
the
here's
fuck
my
out of the
thing. You
company.
had Steve Austin hitting women, but they still cheer for him.
Yeah.
Where's the irony? Where's the fucking y'all are fucked up. It's
Well, and
okay
you're not
for
saying
that to
anything
happen.
shitty, Madusa. That was the truth. He beat up Deborah. So
But he's still a hero to everybody.
revered.
But I bet you half of those people that cut her down still cheer for Steve Austin, right?
Yeah.
Now, Steve and I get along. We're business, we're friends, we're whatever. But again, that was his past. He's a changed man, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't do that. He
No,
knows he fucked up.
and I think he and Deborah have gotten over it in terms of they've
They had
got,
to move on in life.
but you know what I
Absolutely.
mean. They had their reconciliation, and they're divorced, and they're moved on. Like you said, they're done. So anyway,
Anyway, so there we have that. That's it. And that's a
Val
long
Venus.
fucking almost 3 hours wrap. That's what you get for not fucking talking to me for a while, you bitch.
Well, we were gonna do Richard Chase, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, and I got a text message that said,
Yep.
I hate wrestling, but we need to talk about wrestling tonight.
And that's the bottom line. That is the truth right there. Yeah, and I thought for sure like he probably dropped his phone. I'm like, I'm gonna send him this, but like, fuck Chase. Let's talk wrestling. I know you're not gonna believe me, but we need to talk wrestling.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Richard Chase, obviously very influential in the creation of the behavioral analysis unit. Like and subscribe and share our videos, guys, if you like what we're doing here. We do the stream a couple times a week, or a couple times a month. Madusa is getting her Twitch things in order.
Yes,
so
it will be ready for next week, next Thursday at 9 p.m. Guys, we are going to be live for the first time on Twitch for the year because I'm stubborn as fuck, and I didn't want to do it until my fucking page and some graphics were different. I wanted a new video. Hey, you need new shit.
She's all about
branding.
My
team put it together. They did. Marcus, actually.
That's
Marcus and my Twitch team. Yes.
Yeah. And Marcus does a lot for us. We appreciate him. Marcus D'Angelo. By the way.
Yeah, the fucking wrestler wannabe, that son of a bitch. Did you see some of his matches?
Did you hear he beat a mime in his first match?
Yes. Yeah.
I told him we were going to watch it and do a live watch-along.
Oh, we got to. Let's do that. Can we start that off next week? Put a note in.
See if I can find it. But our buddy Marcus over at One True Sport does a lot for us. He does all the graphics for Madusa's YouTube. He did this background you guys are seeing right now, save for my, Uranus fudge factory here.
Yeah.
That's my picture. And Madusa's got the Uranus pickers on her shirt today. But
I think we start off with, hey, let's pay homage to some of our independents that think, hey, he's got a new baby, he's got a kid, he's got a wife, and his fucking 40s, he decides he's going to be a wrestler.
He is a year younger than I am. He was born in 86.
Oh.
And he has decided he's going to be a professional wrestler as well as a dad and a husband. And his first victory in professional wrestling was against a mime. And this weekend or next weekend, it's this weekend, he's going to be wrestling Frost's husband.
Yeah.
he loves peanut butter. What's his
No, I
name?
think Peter Butter Falcon. What?
Yeah, he's the
No,
peanut butter captain or whatever he calls himself. Damn
I
it,
thought he already
Andrew.
wrestled him, didn't he?
No, he's gonna. Well, yeah, I think he did, but they're gonna wrestle in a three-way for the high stakes championship, the IWC high stakes championship. Um, and he's wrestled Victor Benjamin, and then the third guy, whoever he is, but he's gonna wrestle Victor. So Marcus does a lot for us. We want to support him. It's IWC out of Pittsburgh. Um, but yeah,
Here,
it's
I just sent
Benjamin.
you something. He wrestled Chris LaRusso.
Did he?
Chris, yeah, he just sent it to me. So
Yeah. Well, if he's asking you to watch his matches, that means your whole family needs to watch his matches. That's everybody here.
we're gonna put it live. We're gonna do it. Yep, we
We're
are.
gonna get
Sorry,
old.
Marcus.
We're gonna get old Marcus fired up. But yeah, he rocks the bandana. He chews gum to the ring. He does that little cocky smile and crap, you know.
I thought he was like, I'm the promote. What? I'm the what? What's his shtick?
Podcaster.
Yeah, I'm the podcaster.
So you guys will appreciate this because you've put up with Big Red. Marcus is his character is he's an out of touch podcaster who is completely unaware of the things he says and does inside a wrestling locker room. And now he's a professional wrestler because he's good at everything. That's like the whole deal. So he's he does his whole bit. He does the Ted DiBiase tribute with the black glove, which if y'all know Watts' territory, that was a pretty big deal with the black glove. So he does some old school shit, and he does a slingshot suplex into a sky high, which is a pretty cool move. But
Oh boy. Oh boy. We've got Marcus's first #1 fan.
oh no, I harassed the shit out of him. When he sent me the video. He sent me the video of him wrestling the mime.
Yeah.
And how he beat the
So
mime by putting him through a table that didn't exist. This was my response. Mud show outlaw bullshit, motherfucker. My best Jim Cornette, potty mouth Mickey Mouse. But that was my response. That is mud show outlaw bullshit,
yeah.
motherfucker. That's what I said to him.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So yeah, we're gonna have to we should show that.
I don't think he'd care.
No, he don't. He wants no. Are you kidding? He wants all the publicity.
Yeah, he wants all of it he can get. Again, it's IWC, Pittsburgh's own. They have trained Britt Baker. They have trained Wardlow, just so y'all aware. And now they've trained Marcus D'Angelo. So we'll do that.
Hey, maybe after Chase or maybe before Chase, we push that back again. Maybe we talk about the JFK files.
Oh my God. Did you know Tony Schiavone was mentioned in the JFK files? I found that out last night on Dynamite. Toni Storm was on commentary and she said, "So, Mr. Schiavone, what are you doing in the JFK files?"
Oh my God.
It was so good. It was so good.
What are you doing in the JFK files?
In the JFK
Schiavone.
files.
That would make him old as fuck.
Well, Schiavone is old as fuck, but he can't keep his shit together anymore either. But it so the JFK files I've seen some of. You sent me a video I did not watch yet because you said I needed to watch the entire thing and get back to you.
Oh God, yes. Yes, you do.
So I did not watch it yet. I was busy out in the yard. It's yard work time.
That video, what it does is all of the, I haven't read all the fucking 70,000, whatever, but there's key points that I'll read through. Boom, 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 boom. And holy shit. Like, people thought this and that. And sometimes, just like wrestling, the actual companies will put things out there to divert the fans to believe in something and just put bogus shit out there and then feed it to the wrestling news feed and even blast it out when they want people looking over here when it's really happening here. And that's exactly what happened what they fucking did on these JFK files, which a lot of people got smart and put 2 and 2 together. But when you basically find out, I mean, the whole thing about Cuba and JBL, Lyndon Johnson, whatever the fuck his name
LBJ.
was.
Yeah, Lyndon Baines Johnson.
Oh, and
Senate Majority
how
Leader,
people
power
were
player.
positioned in certain parts, and then it leading up to the reasoning and how it happened. Oh my God, it makes sense. And then it brings you fast forward to today. You know damn straight that shit is fucking happening, and why a lot of things happened the way it did in the last probably 8 years, 16 years, you know? Oof.
I don't have a presidential pardon forged by Joe Biden. It disappoints me.
His
But
fucking name was mentioned.
Steve Otar says, thanks for the stream, Medusa Big Rat. Always good to listen to you talk
Oh,
wrestling. We
thank
appreciate
you.
you being here. Steve,
Did you
you've
know
been
your
one of the,
favorite president, Joe Biden, was mentioned in the JFK files?
I saw RFK Jr. called him a piece of shit or something. And
No,
or
not
JFK
JFK. I'm
Jr.
sorry. Joe Biden was mentioned in the JFK in the files. His
Yeah,
name
JFK
is in
Jr.
there.
told him he was a piece of shit and then he died in a plane crash. I saw it on Twitter. It has to be true.
Well, he was in there, and who was it? What's his name? Fuck. Anyway, you'll see it. Um, Joe Biden's name is on there, and I think it was actually JFK that said, "This man is not to be trusted. Joe Biden is a traitor." And this was all documented and I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. You'll see it. Oh, and don't forget that I'm in the new game. Yay.
Yes, the new WWE game, which I will not be buying because I'm not a gamer, which is ironic because we're here with your Twitch family and they all are very excited for you to be back next Thursday night at 9 p.m.
Yep, Twitch will be live next Thursday.
live
Yay.
on Twitch. I
And when
heard
are
the
we going to
mock.
be doing this again? So it'll be back on Tuesdays though, right?
So I'm back in town working. It'll probably be Tuesdays because that'll be my normal day off, I believe.
Okay.
I don't have my schedule for not this next week, but the week after.
So yeah, so either 8 or 9 o'clock on Tuesdays would work best for me.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get with that. We'll let you guys know. But I think we should do I think since it's hot right now, the JFK files, I think a lot's going to come out even more so within the week. And I think we do JFK first and then Chase.
Let's ask your audience.
Oh,
not about that.
Whatever.
You get to direct. This is your show. I tell you that all the time.
Okay, guys.
Do you guys believe that there is enough aluminum foil in Goldsboro, North Carolina, for me to be able to talk about the JFK files?
Jesus Christ.
You're not going to hurt my feelings. We're going to do a lot of it. You might be opening a fucking can of worms, Madusa, that you can't close with the JFK files.
Why? I'm just going by what's out there and we're talking about it and we'll put up on screen and go through every fucking thing.
Yeah. So a lot of it's redacted, which I think is hilarious because as I've made this point, and I'll say this whenever we talk about it, I'm a Yankees fan, 27 championships.
Go Twins. Go
the
Twins.
Pinstripes.
Go Twins.
All the Hall of Famers.
Twins.
The generational
Minnesota
talents
Twins.
like Mickey Mantle and Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth and Aaron Judge. That's why. Anyway, but the Braves in the 90s were badass, CJ. Anyway, on this JFK topic, everybody that it would affect is dead, which is why there's no reason to redact.
That's why they waited.
Other than you're afraid of what the government is hiding from you. That's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm going to say is either you don't want to know the truth because you know damn well that we've all been played. How's that?
Oh, and I forgot A-Rod and I forgot Derek Jeter as well, CJ. That's my bad.
Jesus, Jenny.
Yeah, he started it. You now have Max Fried. I'm so pissed. Yeah, I watched him pitch the other day, CJ. You may not have heard this. He went 5 innings against Boston, got pulled by Joe Torre in the ceremonial thing. It was fantastic.
What about
And
them Vikings?
Madusa could have been there, but she blew me off while I was in Tampa. We were in the same city, and she's
We
like,
could
"Bitch,
have,
I
but
have
you blew
time
me
for you."
off.
So
I think I was going somewhere. I don't know. Oh, it's going on a cruise or something.
yeah. Well, you were on a cruise. You were on a boat. You and Alan listened to a bunch of bands. I don't know who they are.
Okay, so the first boat was Eagles, Sticks, fucking Alice Cooper, and then 2 weeks later we were on another one. So
And now, are you going again, or are you kind
in
of
October.
okay?
October over Halloween, we're going on one. It's called Headbangers Ball or something.
Is it the Monsters Ball? Isn't that what you called it?
No,
Or is that
it's the
different?
Headbangers Cruise, and it's Clutch will be there, and oh my god, so it's a very heavy metal cruise.
Nice.
Clutch is like one of my
You
favorite
think
bands.
aliens are real? Oh my god.
Do I think aliens are real? I don't
Dalton,
know.
Dalton Riley says, "Do you think aliens are real?"
I would here's an honest answer. Would I hope there's life out there somewhere? Yes. I would I mean, wow, we're silly to think we're the only things living on a fucking planet in this universe. How's that? I would hope so. I'd like to meet E.T.
That's phenomenal. Yeah, ET go home. Extraterrestrial is what ET stands for those of you playing along at home.
E.T. Yeah, I bet you a lot of them didn't even get that. Anyway.
Look, I'm of the opinion that at this point they've seen the shit show and they're like, stay the fuck away from Earth. It's not even worth taking over. Could you imagine?
Don't even take it over. It's a shit show.
Could you imagine
That's so good.
if they had come in the last 4 years, let alone even with Trump there, take us to your who are these people? They're the best. They're the best aliens. Have you ever seen Alien? What about Marvin Martian? Oh, he was so good in Looney Tunes.
Marvin Marsh.
My favorite.
Oh no,
Marvin
and here
Martian.
comes Doge knocking on the door. Let me have a minute with you. I think I know how to get you to the next planet. That's fucking Elon. I have a new rocket that's made like a Tesla. Let me get you there.
Oh my god. This is fabulous. But it's 10:58.
It's fucking 11.
And Madusa gets up at 5:00 in the morning to go work out.
Yeah, whatever.
Like an insane person.
Okay, so all right, next week, we don't know what time yet, 8 or 9, because I think I'm working on something that's going to require me to be busy until about 7:30. So it might be 8 or 9, and then we promise we won't go long, but we will. We'll only start the JFK files. Doesn't mean we have to finish everything in one night. We can just do an hour, and then we'll just break it open and we'll do that, and then we'll do a little bit of chase, and we'll come back to the JFK, that kind of thing.
When did you start working for the government? Because you just lied to all of these people saying we're only going to do an hour.
I'm just cutting off the fat. How's that?
Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts.
I'm cutting off the fat, like they like to say in politics. It's just cutting off the fat that we don't need so I can save us money.
Oh.
I'm up for some JFK. Good. Get ready. Sit down, strap in, because it'll be a fucking ride to Mars real soon.
Little obsessed CJ is probably an understatement. This could turn into a debilitating phobia.
Jesus, Jenny, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, this could turn into a debilitating phobia you and the Bailey love. I mean, buddy, there's more to life than a woman on wrestling television.
Whoa, I like how you didn't stop there. There's more to life than a woman on television as a wrestler. Let me better find out. I know. You better fill it in, bitch.
Oh,
you're lucky I was gonna come back with something but that's off camera.
We don't give a shit. Look, we'll be back. All right,
come see us next week. We'll let you know what time.
And it'll be on social. And if Madusa remembers, she'll retweet it so you can
and
all
if he remembers to send it to me in an email, I'll know what I'm talking about, not fucking print off last week's schedule.
Oh, thank you all. We mean it. We love you. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.